Chapter 1150. The God Creation Envoy's eyes were unfriendly, and he quickly calmed down. No matter how much you say, you still need to borrow this old man's strength. Fong Ping nodded and smiled. That's why I will lure the enemy here. You don't understand at all. If I appear and let them join forces to kill you, they will have a backbone, and you will only die faster. Fong Ping laughed. Is your identity very important? That's right. Understood. Fong Ping nodded and smiled faintly. All right, then I will immediately open the fake heavenly tomb and let everyone out. Since such an important person like you has appeared, is everyone's goal you, or is it our human race? Who is more important, you or the human race? The God Creation Envoy's face flushed red once again. He was going too far. Can't you let this old man gain the upper hand? The God Creation Envoy looked at him coldly and said after a while, Then leave. Did this Brett really think that he would be provoked by him? Fong Ping raised his eyebrows and smiled. Senior, don't be angry and give up on a great opportunity. The God Creation Envoy had already started reading. Seeing this, Fong Ping laughed. Senior, are you really going to let me go? The God Creation Envoy ignored him. Fong Ping sighed. Then forget it. After I die in battle this time, the human race will no longer have a human king. If you die, the human race will not be exterminated. There will be a lot of human kings. Fong Ping chuckled. Senior, what you said seems to make sense. But if I don't die, if Senior doesn't help me today, I will be very narrow-minded. I will take revenge for the smallest grievance. And I am so vengeful that even I am afraid of myself. Then I'll get someone to kill you. Fong Ping was helpless. Senior, are you not going to have a good exchange? You want to show off your strength the moment you arrive? Do you think that just because you have some strength, you can be arrogant with me? When this old man roamed the 3 realms, your ancestors were still embryos. Fong Ping thought for a moment. These words sounded like a curse. However, what this old antique said did not seem to be unreasonable. This old antique was not easy to deal with. Fong Ping fell into deep thought. After a while, he said slowly, Senior has been suppressed by the heaven-suppressing king for 8,000 years. Do you really not want to go out? Fong Ping smiled and said, Senior, if you say now that you really don't want to go out, then I will really leave. Without Senior, I don't have much of a loss. If I want to go out, Senior can still talk to me. The God Creation Envoy glanced at him and said indifferently, If you want to talk, then let's talk. You're still too inexperienced to want to suppress this old man. That's true. The older, the wiser. After all, I'm only 21 years old. How can I compare to a senior? The God Creation Envoy was tired and snorted, You are so arrogant, sooner or later you will be beaten to death. Yeah, so I tried my best to restrain myself, didn't I? Fong Ping chuckled. If this happened in the past, I would have left immediately. When I'm stronger, I'll come back and beat you to death here. But now forget it. I should keep a low profile. As Fong Ping spoke, a sofa appeared in the void. Fong Ping sat on the sofa. Opposite him, the God Creation Envoy looked unfriendly. I sit on the floor, you sit on the sofa? Senior, why don't we have a cup of tea while we talk? Humph. Forget it then. Just as he finished speaking, the God Creation Envoy sat on the sofa. Fong Ping laughed in spite of himself. A tea table appeared in front of him. The God Creation Envoy glanced at him and frowned slightly. It's not a storage ring. Do you have other storage treasures? Fong Ping was surprised. This was the first time someone had discovered his storage space. This guy had some tricks up his sleeve. Storage space, the God Creation Envoy murmured. Could it be that you have opened up a real source world? You used a lot of origin soil. Fong Ping was surprised once again. You know about this too? Or could it be that you have some treasure on you that can connect to other spaces and store things in other spaces. Fang Ping did not say a word. He did not expect that just by taking out a few things, this old fellow would think so much. The God creation envoy's gaze was like a knife, scanning him time and time again. He said indifferently, "I heard that you can recover imperishable matter infinitely. You can recover your vitality and mentality. From before?" "That's right. Senior, am I the reincarnation of the Emperor?" The God creation envoy sneered. "The reincarnation of the Emperor? What's wrong with the reincarnation of the Emperor? The Emperor has unlimited imperishable matter. Then you've overestimated the Emperor. Do you think that when they're dead, they can still continuously produce imperishable matter? Do you think that if they're alive, they'll store up so much imperishable matter for themselves? You're a bullsh *T reincarnation of the Emperor." This time, it was Fang Ping's turn to twitch the corner of his mouth. "Were you scolding me or the Emperor?" This old fellow was very arrogant. The God creation envoy picked up the teapot and did not pour any tea. He simply picked up the teapot and began to drink. As he drank, he said, "You're not some reincarnation of the Emperor, you brat." The God creation envoy looked at him again. After a long while, he said, "Interesting. I seem to have seen something on you." "What?" Fang Ping was surprised. "What did you see?" The God creation envoy said indifferently, "An aura different from this era. You have to know that people are like weapons. People live for a long time, and weapons are made for a long time. They are all different. Everything has its own characteristics of the era." Let's talk about the resurrected martial artist. The resurrected martial artist also carries the unique characteristics of the era. Maybe you guys can't see it, but that doesn't mean that I can't. You don't look like a resurrected martial artist. The God creation envoy said, and smiled. "You're interesting. You have something special on you. Your aura is very special. I've never seen it before all these years." As he spoke, the God creation envoy muttered, "Could it be related to time? That's not right. When it comes to space, I can understand it. But when it comes to time, no one has been able to reverse it since ancient times, right? If he can reverse time, there's nothing he can't do. Does he still need to do anything else?" The God creation envoy said to himself, "Could it be that it's not time but illusion?" The God creation envoy rubbed his chin and said curiously, "You have characteristics that don't match this era, but you're the king of the current generation. This doesn't make sense. Logically speaking, if you're really different from the people of this era, you won't be able to become a king. Just like unquestionable Jian, if he wants to become a king, then he has to reincarnate. But reincarnation also has some characteristics. Why isn't the subduing heavenly king a king? Because that guy doesn't belong to this era. The others are the same. It's almost impossible for someone who doesn't belong to this era to become a king." This was the first time Fang Ping had heard of this. He was a little surprised. He was also a little shocked. What did this old fellow see? From the looks of it, he was saying that he wasn't a person of this era. You have an aura that doesn't belong to this era, but you have perfectly integrated into this era. Interesting. The God creation envoy muttered to himself, "This is equivalent to refurbishing or making the same weapon old, which is also a forgery. Let the fake weapon mix with the dragon and fish mix into that era, and let people ignore those differences." This was not something that an ordinary person could do. It was a very terrifying thing. Back then, this old man had also imitated some martial god weapons, but there were some abnormalities that could be easily discovered by experts. If it wasn't for this old man's experience, it would have been very difficult for me to sense your abnormalities. Fang Ping was stunned. What did he mean? You started your business with fakes too? The God creation envoy shook his head. I can't figure it out. Fang Ping raised his eyebrows slightly. Senior, what did you see? I've already said that there are some auras that don't match this era. The God creation envoy pointed at his own eyes and laughed. This old man relies on his eyesight to eat. These eyes, those are divine eyes. You carry some aura that is somewhat incompatible with this era. Do you understand? Fong Ping laughed. I don't really understand. Maybe. The God creation envoy chuckled. That is to say, you are actually not necessarily someone from the neo-martial era. Maybe you are an antique, older than me, or maybe you are someone from the future. Or you were actually born in this era, but you might not have grown up in the neo-martial era. The God creation envoy shook his head. This thing is very complicated. I'm afraid you don't even understand it yourself. Speaking of which, do you feel anything, kid? No. Fong Ping had a smile on his face, but he was shocked in his heart. Yes, am I a person of this era? I came from a peaceful world. There were no ancient martial arts, no neo-martial arts, no martial arts. What kind of world was that? Fong Ping had actually thought that maybe he was just like old Zhang and the others now. He was referring to old Zhang and the others in his own source world, born in an illusory world. He was actually just a powerhouse's origin creature, like a fish-headed demon in the cat world of Songcat. It was just that one day he escaped from that world. By chance, he returned to the real world. Was that so? Fong Ping did not know. The God creation envoy was no longer conflicted. He felt that Fong Ping might not even know anything. At this moment, he also laughed. You are actually very interesting. Logically speaking, you should not have such achievements. But you do. Someone wants to reverse something. I think you are also a chess player. Fong Ping said calmly, the Three Realms is a big chessboard. Who is not a chess player? Even those who play chess, aren't they? As long as you have enough strength, you will be able to overturn this chessboard sooner or later. Won't you? That's true. The God creation envoy laughed again. Why can't a chess piece turn over and be the master? In this aspect, you are stronger than unquestionable Jian. He has seen through some things, but he has also lost some things. Although this person is strong, I'm afraid it will be difficult for him to break the chessboard. What about Senior? Me? The God creation envoy thought for a while before smiling. Maybe I know all the people who play chess. This game of chess needs a chessboard. Maybe I am the one who created the chessboard. Can you understand? I don't really understand. I know you don't understand. The God creation envoy laughed. It doesn't matter if you don't understand. As for me, I am actually at a boundary. Maybe I am a chess player. Maybe I am not. Senior, have you come into contact with the 9 emperors and 4 emperors before? Of course. The God creation envoy leaned on the sofa and smiled. Do you have wine? Tea is not to my taste. Fong Ping took out a jar of wine that he brewed himself. The God creation envoy opened the jar, smelled the smell, and smiled. How extravagant! The 9 emperors and 4 emperors. There is no need to believe them too much. The God creation envoy drank the wine and said with a face full of vicissitudes, back then, they were also people ordinary. It was just that they went far in the end. Compared to them, some beginner martial artists were actually more outstanding. Those people, from nothing to something, you have to understand, these people are the real difficult ones. It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Now that you have nothing, not a single cent, do you think you can build a glorious empire? You can't. As for the 9 emperors and 4 emperors, it was only said that under the circumstances of inheriting the family business, it was actually not too difficult to carry it forward. One started from scratch, the other inherited his father's business. There is still a gap. Fong Ping nodded. I think I can do a good job if I start from scratch. He. the God creation envoy despised. Then how about this? This old man will go back and kill King Wu and the others, kill all the powerhouses of the human race, and leave you and a group of ordinary people. This old man would like to see, what ability do you have to say such big words? Senior, you can try. Kill King Wu first. You think I can't? Senior, you can't even kill the 3 heavenly kings. I think the King Wu is even harder to kill than the 3 heavenly kings. The God creation envoy was speechless. What did he say? The God creation envoy did not want to continue this topic and changed the topic again. What trouble did you encounter? Tell me. There are about a dozen saints who want to kill me. Fong Ping kept everything simple, and that was it. How many? A dozen? The God creation envoy's expression changed again, and after a while he said, "Are you trying to scare this old man? There are only about a dozen saints in the 3 realms who have recovered, and they all want to kill you?" Fong Ping was surprised. Only a dozen? Then he had overestimated the number of saints who had recovered. That's about a dozen. Is there a difference? A few people probably don't want to kill me, but everyone else wants to kill me. You should reflect on why they all want to kill you. Fong Ping laughed. You're too outstanding. This reason should be enough. The God creation envoy thought about it and felt that it was necessary to scold him to wake him up. Thinking about it, it was true. If Fong Ping was not so outstanding, who would care about him? Just like now, if it was not to kill Fong Ping, Wu Quishan, this peak would not be taken seriously. Your ability to provoke opponents is stronger than Zhang Tao. How do you want this old man to help you? It's simple. Senior, just hold off 7 or 8 saints. Do you think 7 or 8 saints can hold off 2 heavenly kings? Fong Ping shook his head. He did not know. If 7 or 8 saints aren't afraid of death, there's a chance to kill a broken 6 heavenly king. The God creation envoy said, unhappily, these people can even fight with a broken 7 heavenly king for a while. This old man is just a saint, not a heavenly king. Just a saint? What's your strength? How dare you look down on a saint? I'm 21 years old. The God creation envoy felt that there was no way to chat anymore. He snorted coldly. With just these few words of yours, this old man has also been offended by you. You should think about it carefully. Why did Zhang Tao not offend as many people as you? That's why he's also being hunted down by many people, but he can't satisfy his craving for words. Fong Ping laughed. If Senior really has no hostility towards humans, then it's fine to say a few words. If Senior gets angry easily and wants to kill me, that actually means that Senior wanted to kill me in the first place. What's the difference? The God creation envoy snorted lightly and said quickly, this old man can't leave now, and I can't show myself now. Kid, this old man is more important than you think. This old man has left the mountain now and has been discovered. Very soon, some old fellows will target this old man, including King Kuan, King Qian, these powerhouses. Not only that, there might be more powerhouses, including some beginner martial artists who did not die. You have to think about it. When the time comes, there might be a lot of heavenly kings. Fong Ping was surprised. Senior, do you have a lot of enemies? A lot. More than me? Who do you think you are? Then why do you think I'm wrong if you cause more trouble than me? Isn't this denying Senior himself? The God creation envoy said snappily, what do you know? This old man is doing great things, unlike you, offending people over such a trivial matter. Before this old man did something big, he was respected by the powerhouses of the 3 realms. After that, I was targeted by others different from you. What big thing? The God creation envoy was silent. Fong Ping laughed. Who exactly is Senior? Don't ask. Why? Fong Ping asked curiously. Even if it's the 9 emperors and 4 emperors, I wouldn't be surprised. You won't understand. The God creation envoy said impatiently. Moreover, this old man can't leave easily. Li Xuanxia suppressed this old man, so it's not that easy to leave. Human kings, special pardon? Bullshit. The God creation envoy sneered. You speak with the constitution of the heavens? You pardon this old man. Who do you think you are? If you say you are a human king, then you are? Fang Ping felt that he was being looked down upon. Although there was no evidence, he felt that this old fellow was scolding him. Fang Ping's gaze was unfriendly, but the God creation envoy did not care, and sneered. Don't fantasize about those unrealistic things. You really aren't qualified. However, it's not impossible. You should also be walking the path of the human emperor. As for whether it's the human king's path or the human emperor's path, I don't know. You are the king of the human race, but you are not. If you really want this old man to leave, unless you become an emperor. Fang Ping frowned. So, exaggerated? If I become an emperor, do I still need you? It's not like there's no other way. The God creation envoy looked at him and smiled. This old man can actually leave for a short period of time, but after leaving, I might die. Since you've guessed this, then I'll say it directly. If you want this old man to help you, then you have to obtain the 9 Emperor Seal. After obtaining the 9 Emperor Seal, you can join forces with the Martial King, the Netherworld King, and some other leaders of the human race to write a letter for this old man and stamp it with the 9 Emperor Seal. In this way, we will be even. Senior, what mistake did you commit? If I don't ask clearly, I won't dare to make a promise so easily. The God creation envoy pondered for a moment and said after a while, It's not my fault. Let me ask you, if there is a murderer who killed someone, is the person wrong or the weapon in his hand? It's a person, right? Fang Ping looked at him uncertainly. The God creation envoy laughed. That's right. So, this old man is innocent. Li Xuanxia is unreasonable. This old man's strength is inferior to his. There's no other way. I can only admit defeat. Tell me, what does this have to do with this old man? But this bastard insisted on suppressing me, and this old man had no choice. Sai, this is the only way now. It's been 8,000 years, and I've already borne all the responsibilities that should be borne. You can't possibly push all the blame onto this old man, right? The God creation envoy almost shouted that he was wronged. It's true that I created the immortal source, but I'm innocent. Why did you push all the blame onto me? If I don't create the immortal source, will there be no future? Cough, cough, that's hard to say. The God creation envoy felt a little guilty. If he didn't create the immortal source, there might not be any future events. This matter. It was all in the past, so he didn't have to worry about it anymore. In any case, he felt that he was innocent. Fang Ping glanced at him. Weapon? What did this guy mean? He still didn't quite understand. After thinking for a while, Fang Ping said, If Senior is really innocent, then this matter is not a problem. The 9 Emperor Seal is currently at the Ash Cat's side, at the Ash Cat's place. The God creation envoy was a little surprised. Fang Ping continued, Of course, I've placed it somewhere else now. I can get it back very soon. If Senior is really not an evil person, the human race will pardon Senior. The God creation envoy said indifferently, Actually, it's nothing much. It doesn't matter if I'm pardoned or not. However, Li Xuanxia, this fellow, did something wrong. This fellow's heart is also black. Do you know what these chains that he used to lock this old man up are? What? The pulse of your human race. The God creation envoy was speechless. Actually, it's not that I can't leave. Let's go. If we break these chains, the mountains and rivers of your earth will all collapse. Earth collapses, earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanic eruptions. They will all happen at the same time. The powerhouses did not die, but the others will all die. It's fine if the human race doesn't produce an emperor, but if it does, I'm dead for sure. Not only that, if the earth really collapses, those old antiques will also cause trouble for me. Do you think that Li Xuanxie is not black-hearted? Only you, the human king, who has been recognized by the human race and the 9 Emperor seal, can unlock this thing. Now, you understand, it's not that I don't want to leave, it's not that I can't leave, and it's not that I have to ask for your special pardon. It's for your own good. Otherwise, when the time comes, 99% of your people will die. Fang Ping frowned and said in disbelief, if you break the chain, the earth will be destroyed, more or less. The God creation envoy said indifferently, don't think that it's unbelievable. Li Xuanxie is very strong. He has implicated the qi of the earth's mountains and rivers, smelted them into chains, and penetrated the earth's void. These chains are actually the mountains and rivers that lead to the earth. Once I break it, it will definitely be destroyed. Of course, this chain is only trapping my main body. I have also cultivated the great cloning technique in recent years. A single strand of hair is a clone. You promise me that when the time comes to break the seal, I will give you 3 strands of monkey hair. Cough, 3 clones. Fang Ping glanced at him and looked around the books on the ground. Yes, there was Journey to the West. Did this old man read too much Journey to the West? 3 strands of monkey hair. Heavenly Kingjun was also awesome. He had actually smelted the lifeline of the earth into chains and locked this person. Wasn't he afraid that he would really destroy the earth? Fang Ping frowned. What was Heavenly Kingjun doing? 3 clones. You can't get out. Go out. If there's a problem with your earth, clones are actually enough. The God creation envoy said with a smile, my clones are extremely powerful. Of course, if you have any divine weapons or the like, get 3 of them over. Relying on the divine weapons, your combat power will be stronger, and it will not be easily destroyed. No, didn't you say that you have dozens of them? It's just bragging. You believe that? The God creation envoy was tired. I really believed it, because I used to have so many. Then whatever. With my control and 3 clones, even if I don't deal with the 3 saints, it's not a problem to hold back the 3 saints. Fang Ping did not believe it. Even King Kuan could not do it. One of his clones was only comparable to a saint. As if feeling that he was being questioned, the God creation envoy humphed, don't compare me to others. Let's put it this way. The so-called clones were proposed by me back then. What you guys are playing with now is what I left behind. Back then, my mentality was too strong, and I felt that it was too troublesome and lonely to work alone. That was why I severed my spiritual consciousness and created clones. When it comes to playing clones, I am your ancestor. Now, I don't play with mentality clones anymore. I play with cytology. You know what cytology is? Fang Ping's eyes moved slightly. In the next moment, he quickly said in his mind, Cat, big cat, come out. Who created the mentality clones back then? He felt that he could know this guy's identity. In the end, there was no response. Fang Ping's expression changed slightly. The God creation envoy raised his eyebrows slightly. What are you doing? The origin is moving. Who are you contacting in the origin world? Fang Ping's expression changed. F***CK. This old guy was a little scary. Contact the cat. Don't even think about it. I'm warning you, don't tell the cat anything about me. Otherwise, you can deal with the enemy yourself. The God creation envoy humphed. I'm not someone else. No one in the 3 realms is stronger than me in the study of the origin. He was telling the truth. The divine weapon slashed the great Tao. If he did not know the origin, like the back of his hand, he would not be able to create a divine weapon. Fang Ping wanted to use the origin to contact others in front of him. He was thinking too much. At this moment, Fang Ping was really a little shocked. Who was this guy? Was he really a saint? Not necessarily. This identity, this tone, it felt like he was also an ancient big shot. That was true. Without this status, would the heavenly king still need to suppress him? He would have killed him long ago. Okay, Fong Ping said instantly, then 10 clones. Get lost. The God creation envoy scolded loudly. Did he really think that clones did not need money? All these years, this old man had only created some clones with high-end combat power. Not any random clones had the combat power of a saint. The price he had spent was beyond Fong Ping's imagination. At most 3. If you want it, then take it. If you don't, then leave. Fong Ping gave him a deep look. Fine, sooner or later, I will hollow you out. This old guy was locked on Earth. He was still in his bag. What was he struggling for? 9 heavens, divine emperor. Chapter 11:51. The God creation envoy was unwilling to say anything more to Fong Ping. He gave Fong Ping 3 balls and sent him away. Soon, Fong Ping appeared outside the statue. Looking at the 3 balls in his hand, Fong Ping wondered if they were made of the old man's dirt. Senior, can you speak? Fong Ping shouted at the ball, but there was no response. Fong Ping muttered, Is this thing reliable? Why don't I throw one out now? After a pause, Fong Ping looked at the ball and smiled. Senior, why don't I throw it into the latrine pit and try? How dare you? Fong Ping sneered. He knew it was impossible to not be conscious. At this point, how could he not be conscious? King Kuan's avatar could think on its own. This old man's would not be bad either. Fong Ping did not say anything. He opened the Sanjiao gate, opened the heavenly palace, and threw the 3 balls in. He was not going to let these doppelgangers become his surveillance cameras. Inside the small world, the God creation envoy held a book in his hand. When he felt that the avatar had broken contact, he shook his head slightly and smiled faintly. He's vigilant. As he said that, he frowned slightly. It was his first time seeing Fong Ping, but he felt that something was amiss. There were some things that ordinary people could not see. Even a powerhouse like Tengu might not be able to see anything. However, the God creation envoy looked down on these people. He was very proud because he was a genius, a true genius. If he had not focused on the Tao of forging back then, he felt that he could have become an emperor in that era. What did martial artists like Tengu know? Even the 9 emperors and 4 emperors were nothing to him. Fong Ping, what was going on with Fong Ping? Immortal Source, the God creation envoy, looked up at the sky. Even if there was nothing in the sky and it was dark, he was still looking at the sky. Has the power of the immortal source been stolen? Is it the power of the immortal source or the power from other places? Did someone build a bridge between him and the immortal source? Who did it? Or is it not the power of the immortal source? As the creator of the immortal source, he knew the immortal source very well. However, some things were out of his control in the later stages. After creating the immortal source, he ran away. He did not want to ask what the 9 emperors and 4 emperors did after that. Did Fong Ping's power come from the immortal source, who's plotting in secret, twisting time and space? That doesn't seem to be possible. Could it be a companion world? The God forging envoy fell into deep thought and muttered, could it be that this old man's lair was raided and someone stole my ideas? He really created a companion world to simulate the development of the 3 realms. Who could have done that? Thinking of this, the God-crafting envoy quickly shook his head and muttered, who cares? I'm finally free. When I get out, I'll first kill that old bastard Li Xuanxia, then retrieve the immortal origin. Then, as he spoke, the space in front of him rippled. The next moment, a figure appeared. The God creation envoy glanced at him and said indifferently, "What are you doing here? Did you sell me out to show off?" "Senior, you've misunderstood." This time, Jiang Hao revealed his face and said softly, "Even if I don't say, Fong Ping knows that you're here." This was the first time the God creation envoy saw his appearance clearly. He glanced at him and did not care too much about it. He said indifferently, "If there's nothing else, then scram. Do you really think that this old man is a zoo? I don't dare." Jiang Hao said calmly, "I just want to ask, since Fong Ping is here, Senior should have seen something. Is he the heavenly emperor?" "How would I know? Senior should know the 9 emperors and 4 emperors very well, especially their weapons. I'm actually more curious, what kind of weapon does the heavenly emperor use?" He. The God-crafting envoy's face was full of ridicule. He quickly laughed and said, "It's not impossible to tell you. It's not impossible to even help you forge a divine weapon. What are your conditions, Senior?" "Simple. Collect the 36 saint tokens and give them to this old man. As for the heavenly king's seal, I don't need you. Senior wants to gather all the parts of the 9 emperors' seal. You need to care?" Junior heard that all the divine weapons have participated in Senior's participation. Only the 9 emperors' seal. Senior has not participated in it. Is there something special about this seal? The God-crafting envoy glanced at him and said playfully, "You know, quite a lot. I was lucky to find out. Does it have anything to do with you?" Junior is just asking. The God-crafting envoy smiled and said slowly, "Yes, most of the divine weapons in the 3 realms, even if they were not personally forged by this old man, before they forged the divine weapons, they would more or less ask this old man some forging techniques, and the like. Of course, some of the divine weapons were not actually forged by this old man, and I have never asked about them. For example, the divine weapons that the Azure Cat, Heavenly Dog brought had nothing to do with this old man. Some of the divine weapons of the early martial era also had nothing to do with this old man. As for the 9 Emperor Seal, it should be the only divine weapon that has nothing to do with this old man during the Heavenly Court period." The God-crafting envoy laughed and said, "That is a divine weapon created by the 9 emperors and the 4 emperors. That was created by the Chi of the 3 realms. It was created by the leaders of the entire human race. This old man can't interfere. So it's true that the 9 Emperor Seal can break through the 9 heavens? Maybe." Jiang Hao thought about it and said, "Is Fong Ping fighting? Does it have anything to do with you? I just want to confirm if Do is still alive or not." "Alive? If you're alive, I'll kill you with 1 punch. Is it useful for you to care?" The God-crafting envoy yawned and said, "Let's go. Your current body's strength seems to have just reached the true God realm. Although there are some imprints of your previous body attached, ordinary people can't see it, but you can't hide it from this old man. At most, you can unleash the strength of an emperor level. Previously, that kid said that you were going to make a move. Can you deal with a saint?" Jiang Hao said softly, "The human king forced me to do so." "Forced?" The God-crafting envoy sneered and said, "You're afraid of him? I think you have an ulterior motive. Tell me, this old man might be interested and help you." Jiang Hao smiled, but was unwilling to say more. After thinking for a while, he said, "Has Fong Ping really achieved emperor level?" "How would I know? This old man can't see through him. Senior can't see through it either." "Is it very strange?" The God-crafting envoy said, lazily. "There are all kinds of strange things in the 3 realms. Who knows how he did it? You can ask the emperor. Maybe the other party knows." Jiang Hao sighed softly and said, "Senior seems to have a lot of misunderstandings about this junior. I'm just thinking, even if Senior and I make a move, can Fong Ping really escape this calamity? Now that the powerhouses of the 3 realms have recovered, He has no intention of restraining himself. When Zhang Tao was here, he had actually helped him block many disasters. Life King and the others had wanted to kill him for a long time. Even Li Zhu had the intention to kill him. Zhang Tao had appeared several times to intimidate everyone, and even Heavenly King Suppressing had appeared. In this way, he was able to suppress everyone. At this time, he should be enduring and dormant, but he is still so ostentatious. If this goes on, the human race will once again become the target of public criticism. The God-crafting envoy thought for a while and asked with a smile, "If it were you, what would you do at this time?" Jiang Hao said softly, "Dormant, endure. If one's strength was inferior to others, then one should join forces at this moment. For example, the 3 realms that cooperated with the human race, the 6 grandmasters could completely borrow their strength. If they want to establish a sect in the human world, that's fine. Let them enter the human world. With their own interests, they will not let other forces enter the human world. I know that at this time, the human race may be oppressed and suffer some injustice, but all of this is for the sake of a longer future. Now, the human race resist counterattack, and if they go overboard, a great war will break out immediately. Senior, is this really appropriate? The human race has become the target of all forces' fear, constantly suppressed, constantly ambushed. In these few years, the human race has improved rapidly, but they have also suffered heavy casualties. 21 people have fallen in the impasse realm. If it were not for Nan Yunyue, Zhang Weiyu, Kong Lingyuan, Wu Chuan, Chen Yaozu, Zhao Xingwu, and Wu Quishan who had advanced consecutively, there would be less than 30 people in the human race. And all of this is actually caused by Fang Ping. Jiang Hao said in a low voice, "If it were not for him entering the catacombs many times and killing too many people, causing all parties to notice the threat of humans, the war would not have broken out so quickly. Even if it broke out, it might not be like before, where all parties were hostile to the human race." The foundation laid by Heavenly King Suppressing was almost destroyed by him alone. 21 impasse realm. Currently, there were still 35 in the fake sky tomb. Among them, 6 were newly promoted absolute peaks, while 29 were veteran absolute peaks. The death of these 21 absolute peaks had a lot to do with Fang Ping. The speed at which the war broke out exceeded the speed expected, and the number of human enemies also exceeded the expected number. If it were not for Fang Ping, the martial king might not have exposed his strength at that time. The original outbreak of the war might have happened a year or 2 later. Fang Ping catalyzed this process, and it was also because of these 1 or 2 years that some of his deployments were disrupted, causing him to have no choice but to let the Devil Emperor's true body appear in advance. The God-forging envoy laughed and said, "Don't you understand that if you pretend to be a grandson for too long, you will really become a grandson?" Senior's words, this junior dares not agree. Jiang Hao said sternly, "It's just a moment of forbearance." He was clearly not a match for him, but he insisted on fighting to the death. Was this bravery? If he lay low for a period of time, the human race might improve faster, and not so many people would die. If he could not even bear a little grievance, then what was the point of the neo-martial arts for the past 100 years? The neo-martial era, in the past few years, didn't they also bear it? Zhang Tao has the strength to kill the powerhouses of the outer realm, but did Senior see him make a move? The subduing Heavenly King has the strength to kill those true gods, but he did not make a move. Only Fang Ping, when it came to him, never knew how to consider the overall situation. He implicated the entire human race time and time again, dragging the entire human race into the quagmire of war. Whether it was Zhang Tao and the others, or the war that broke out in the outer realm, it was all caused by Fang Ping. He made many people die in battle in foreign lands. Is everything he did really right? Jiang Hao straightened his back and said in a deep voice, if it wasn't for him, in another 2 years at that time, I might be able to prove my Tao as a saint or even a heavenly king. After fusing with the devil emperor, I might be able to break through 9. At that time, I will join forces with the subduing heavenly king together with the martial king and rope in some other forces. How can we let the human race fall into the current crisis? The God-forging envoy laughed and said, that might not be the case. In another 2 years, how do you know that there won't be any other changes in the middle? You're just developing according to the best situation that you can predict. But what if the emperor recovers in 2 years? Then he can prove his Tao and become an emperor in 2 years. Who knows? The God-forging envoy chuckled and said, are you indignant or are you indignant? Jiang Hao said in a deep tone, I just hate his arrogance. He will kill a lot of people. He said that he was a human, but in reality, his selfishness was deeper than anyone else's. I respect the martial king, but I've never respected him, Fang Ping. He doesn't have the right to do so. The God-forging envoy laughed and said, then have you asked the others if they are willing to kneel and beg for survival or stand and die in battle? Senior, Jiang Hao shouted in a low voice, this is not kneeling and begging for survival. Your words are exactly the same as theirs, but you're just enduring and not kneeling down. Even if you really kneel down, you will stand up again, instead of stiffening your neck and courting death. He, Fang Ping, has begged others time and time again. When he is about to die, he knows to ask for help from outsiders, but he has never thought about it. Who owes him? Why should I help him? Zhang Tao helped him. The subduing heavenly king helped him. And even my martial uncle, the war king, is helping him. Now, Senior is also willing to help. Just because he is a new martial prodigy, just because he might be the reincarnation of a powerhouse, the hope of mankind, we can let him continue to cause trouble and make mankind's life more and more difficult. The God-forging envoy thought for a while this time. After a while, he said, let's put it this way. I remember reading a book by humans. I read this sentence. If you kneel for a long time, you won't be able to stand up. The new martial artists had been kneeling for too long. It had been so long that they did not dare to make a move. It had been so long that even if Zhang Tao and the others had unparalleled combat strength, they could only endure it and watch helplessly as their family and friends died on the battlefield. Did they not have the ability to save them? Yes. But they did not dare to because they had to endure, because they were no match for the other party, because the human race was not strong. When the human race fights in the catacombs, they often have the strength but do not dare to use it. The other party has 3 rank 9s, and you only dare to come 1. Even if you die in battle, that is only 1. As for Fang Ping, the timing of his appearance is very coincidental. The God-forging envoy laughed and said, as for him, he appeared when the human race's resentment was at its deepest. He might not be strong enough, not wise enough, and lack some overall view, but he dared. He did what others wanted to do, but did not dare to do. He was becoming stronger. He was raising morale. He was actually an incarnation of everyone in today's human race, a representative. He fought from south to north, causing many people to die. However, those who were alive have vented their anger. Dying in battle is also refreshing. As a result, he received more people's recognition. This old man is not saying that your philosophy is wrong, but after kneeling for so long, the human race needs someone who can lead them to stand up, even if the losses are heavy, even if the human race may be destroyed. As for you, you just missed this opportunity. Jiang Hao said deeply, maybe what Senior said is right, but I don't think he will be able to pass this round. if he can't pass, then from now on, it will be logical for the human race to lie low. Silence is just for a greater explosion. The God-forging envoy laughed and said, "What do you know? Are there many people who are going to deal with him?" "Many," Jiang Hao said calmly. "It's not that I'm unwilling to help and watch him die. However, the Demon Emperor's true body is in the Spirit Emperor's dojo. This is Fong Ping's own arrangement, so he can't blame anyone. I, Jiang Hao, have only just entered the peak. Even if the origin and the Demon Emperor resonate, I can only hold back a saint, which is already my limit. What about Senior? Unless Senior is willing to go out. Otherwise, how many people can the Avatar that Senior let him take away deal with? If Skywood deals with one person, will the cat make a move? Even if we make a move, if you and I join forces, holding back 5 saints is also the limit. The saints won't make a move, but there will be many Emperor-level and true gods. How can he deal with them? How do you know that he doesn't have a backup plan? Backup plan? Unless he opens the Spirit Emperor's dojo. Otherwise, who in the 3 realms is his backup plan? The God-forging envoy smiled and nodded. Let's leave it to fate. It's not up to me to care about this. He is now the human king. Even if he dies, the human race will still have to do what he promised me. Get lost. Don't bother me anymore. Jiang Hao did not say anything else and left with a frown. Watching him leave, the God-forging envoy continued to read his book. At the same time, Magic City, the Fong family, Fong Ping's figure flashed and disappeared. He took the jade pendant left behind by the cat and disappeared instantly. Hua Qidao is my son. Don't call him Li Qidao anymore. His real name is Zhang Fu. 30 years ago, when I was the minister, I sent him to the catacombs and mixed into the catacombs. It's not easy for that kid. To be honest, if the humans really win, he will not be tolerated by the humans either, because he has personally attacked human martial artists before. There are still martial artists who died at his hands. Fong Ping's expression changed slightly. I didn't expect him to live until then, and he didn't think about it either. At this moment, Fong Ping was looking at the contents of the jade pendant. Old Zhang's appearance appeared, revealing a rare hint of guilt and loneliness. Originally, sending him to the catacombs was to let him die. If he dies, then he dies. If he lives, then he's lucky. Obviously, his luck is not bad, and he survived until now. If you meet him, you don't have to deliberately show mercy. If you need to kill, then kill. I'll also let you regret and feel guilty for a few years. At least when he dies, he can have a good reputation and not die in vain. When you see these, it means that he has sent you a message. Let me make it clear first. I can't guarantee whether what he said is true or not. After staying in the catacombs for 30 years, even if it's my son, I can't be sure if he has changed. But if he's sending you a message, it's obviously very important. Be careful. Also, what King Huai said is 9 lies and 1 truth. Don't think that he's my man. This guy is more sinister than anyone else. All these years, I've worked with him many times. I've been working with him since I was rank 7. You didn't hear me wrong. Rank 7. When I was rank 7, he was already at the peak. This guy has been working with me since then. All these years, I've helped him get rid of many of his enemies. Heavenly King Suppression also helped me get rid of some. Otherwise, do you think he would have become the overlord of Skyplant's royal court so quickly? Of course, he also helped me get rid of some of my enemies, such as the left divine general. In short, King Huai is a despicable person. A despicable person is actually better than a hypocrite. It's enough that you know he's an enemy. Find a chance to get rid of him. This guy is very wary of me. I tried to kill him a few times, but I failed. Also, if you encounter a crisis, maybe you'll go to Star Town to find that person. I don't know if you've seen him, but remember, don't trust him easily. He's not a good person. The disaster that year might have something to do with him. The crisis that we humans are facing now might also have something to do with him. I don't have too many things to give you. I just want to remind you, when it's time to be a coward, be a coward. If you really encounter a disaster, just like what Li Chongqing taught you back then, you're the strong, I'm the weak, I admit defeat. If you keep your life, you can be someone's henchman, be someone's grandson, even be a guide. Don't die easily. If you die, then everything will really be gone. But don't attack humans. If you do, it'll be very hard for you to turn back. At this moment, Fang Ping thought of Zhang Fu. Maybe it was Zhang Fu. He had attacked humans. When old Zhang said this, he was probably thinking of his son. Could he turn back? Maybe not. Was this Zhang Fu's fault? Fang Ping's emotions were extremely complicated. No, he pretended to be the son of the catacombs, left marshal. How could he guarantee that he would not attack humans for 30 years? If that was the case, he would have been exposed a long time ago. The moment he attacked, Zhang Tao and Zhang Fu knew that it would be very hard to turn back. Humans could tolerate some things, but sometimes it was very hard to tolerate others. Some might understand him, but some would not put themselves in his shoes to understand him. They only knew that Hua Qidao's hands were stained with human blood. Zhang Tao did not say much before the jade pendant shattered. Fang Ping's emotions were extremely complicated. Perhaps old Zhang, who had left those words that day, was also very complicated. At this moment, Fang Ping stood on the endless sea and exhaled softly. Don't think about these things. I won't lose. Every crisis is an opportunity for me. It's an opportunity for me to weaken my enemies and strengthen myself. Every time I climb out of danger, I grow. Sooner or later, I won't rely on anyone anymore. I'll use my strength to crush everything. Let the three realms tremble because of me. At this moment, Fang Ping looked at his system data again. His gaze was exceptionally sharp. It was time to go to the catacombs. If he did not go now, some fellows could not wait any longer. Maybe they would do something. Wealth, 74 billion points vitality, 650,000 calories, 650,000 calories mentality, 16,000 hertz, 16,000 hertz can be cut. Origin, vertical 990 meters, increased by 99%. Horizontal 7,500 meters, increased by 75%. Combat techniques, God-slaying saber techniques, plus 9%. Combat techniques combination deduction, 1 million points / time strength control, 85% limit outburst, 1563575 cal / 1839500 cal. Looking at the data, Fang Ping's expression was calm. Absolute peak was only one step away. His limit had already reached 184 million calories, which was slightly stronger than expected. When I break through to the absolute peak, other people's basic vitality will increase by 50,000 calories, but mine will increase by 100,000 calories at the very least, 750,000 calories basic vitality. Even if it's only 1,000 meters with a vertical increase of 100%, that would be 13 million calories limit outburst, absolute peak. Will my vitality change qualitatively? Fang Ping asked himself. It would. It definitely would. After the qualitative change, he was the weakest. His limit was also more than 4 million calories, reaching the level of a saint. This was more powerful than he had expected, mainly because the horizontal increase had exceeded his expectations. Saint-level combat, strength. Once he reached the absolute peak, even if his strength control dropped a little, he would not be weaker than other saints. The three realms will tremble under my demonic palm sooner or later. Fong Ping gritted his teeth and made the declaration of a villain. This time, he wanted to prove his Tao in battle. Humans proved their Tao in battle, and he was no exception. If he did not fight, he might need to walk for a few months just to cross these 10 meters, because this was a big hurdle. Old Zhang, just wait for your eyeballs to explode. Fong Ping took a deep breath. Before that, he still had to do more things. This time, he must definitely succeed, without failure. Chapter 1152. Magic City Catacombs. What are they doing? Bastards, are they luring us away on purpose? In the dark, someone's voice was filled with anger. Up ahead, the cat had found Fang Yuan. Right now, the man and the cat were having a barbecue. Calm down. Someone interrupted the crowd and said in a low voice, even if we're sensed, it doesn't matter. If Fong Ping doesn't show up again, surround Old Cat and Fang Yuan. Surround them, but don't kill them. Inform the others to continue sending more troops to suppress the humans. Snake King hunting plan activated. Very quickly, someone said, should we send someone to the human realm to create chaos, destroy some cities, and force Fong Ping to appear as soon as possible? Try not to. Someone stopped him and said, slaughtering the human world will only anger some people. It's not that time yet. Mortals are just ants. We can just force the humans in the outer realms. But what if Fong Ping doesn't show up? Someone said impatiently, he has been in seclusion all this time. Once he becomes an overlord and a sage, it will be too late to stop him. It doesn't matter. The longer it drags on, the more disadvantageous it is for him. He is walking the human King Tao. If he is not in the mortal realm, then so be it. However, in the mortal realm, the human race is in decline. If he does not come out, the great Tao will definitely be damaged. Even if he is not a match for the human King Tao, he will not keep hiding. These words were said by Saint Tiangue. As Saint Tiangue spoke, he continued, today is already the second day. Tomorrow, if there are no more traces of Fong Ping, then let the true gods take action and exterminate some outland humans. The day after tomorrow, if Fong Ping still did not show up and break through some of the celestial passageways, he would let the Earth realm martial artists kill their way into the human realm. It's best if we don't enter the human world. Before entering, I sensed something. I wonder if you sensed it? As soon as these words came out, someone fell silent for a moment before slowly saying, Some people seem to be staring at us. They're not staring at us. They're suppressing us with the Tao. Saint Tiangue said in a deep voice, the way of the human monarch has existed since ancient times. Their cultivation was extremely profound, and they were the eyes and ears of the human king. Where humans are, the human king is. It's very difficult to kill Fong Ping in the human realm. He did this. Some people found it hard to believe. Fong Ping had not been in contact with King Path for long, right? Was he that strong? These people were all old fogies, so they more or less understood human king road. It was just like how Zhang Tao allowed Fong Ping to enter Black Heaven. As long as he could sense Fong Ping's aura, he could quickly locate him, tear the void, and descend into the world at will. These people had seen such a human king expert before. Wherever the human race was, these people could tear through the void and descend at will. Killing a king in the human world was an extremely difficult task. Previously, no one thought much about it, but when they entered the human world, they felt that something was wrong. Noble Heaven's sage shook his head and said, I don't know if he did it or not. However, we have to be on guard. It's best to kill him in the land domain. Even if we surround him in the human domain, he might still escape. Everyone nodded. It would be best to kill Fong Ping in the land boundary. If he could tear the void at will in the human world and arrive at will, it would be very difficult for Fong Ping to kill him. They were discussing Fong Ping's ability, but Fong Ping did not pay much attention to it. He knew that old Zhang had such an ability, but he could not sense it too clearly for Fong Ping himself. It was not that he did not react at all. In his source world, Fong Ping could still roughly sense where some of the projections were. For example, when Fong Ping entered the catacombs, he could vaguely sense that this old man had gone in the direction of the Forbidden Sea, in the direction of 6 southern regions. There were also some senses, more obvious than Old Man Li's. It should be where Wu Quishan was. However, to tear the void and descend in an instant, Fong Ping felt that he was still a little lacking. He might not be able to do it. Within 1,000 miles with a clear location, he might be able to do it. However, beyond 1,000 miles and not on Earth, he might not be able to do it. Moreover, after entering the catacombs, this feeling had weakened a lot. On Earth, Fong Ping could actually sense more. In Sun City, Fong Ping could sense it quite clearly. He had always felt that if he tore the void on Earth, he might be able to directly descend into Sun City or MCMAU. This was because there were many people who resonated with him in these 2 places. Fong Ping did not restrain his aura. Instead, he changed his aura. A peak rank 9 powerhouse changed his appearance and entered the Forbidden Sea very quickly. After tearing many spaces consecutively, Fong Ping hurried on his way, disregarding the consumption. Very soon, he arrived at an island, a one-man island. As soon as he arrived, a gust of energy tore the void and charged toward him. Fong Ping reached out and grabbed it, crushing it directly. This time, the person in the dark was shocked. In an instant, he tore the void and walked out of the island. Ming Ting, looking at the unfamiliar person in front of him, the rank 9 aura, Ming Ting instantly knew who this person was. His gaze changed slightly, sending a voice transmission. "It's you." "It's me." "Humph." Ming Ting let out a cold humph. His gaze was unfriendly, sending a voice transmission. "How dare you come?" Last time, Fong Ping promised him that he would help him become an emperor. However, in the end, Fong Ping had Heavenly Wood's help and left quickly, not fulfilling his promise. Fong Ping's expression did not change. He landed quickly. "Someone is looking for me. Let's go down and talk." As he landed, he said, "I asked Jiao to inform you. I didn't go back on my word. True Lord should be able to feel my sincerity." Jiao. Speaking of Jiao, Ming Ting's gaze became even more unfriendly. This demon entered misery and had a conflict with King Kuan and the rest. He lured me here a few times. He's really despicable. Fong Ping was speechless. You can settle the score with Jiao. This demon isn't good. I can't do anything about it. Jiao had reached the peak and was no longer satisfied with his status as the demon king of the 7 southern regions. He came to misery and wanted to become a demon king. In the end, he had just achieved his Tao and was no match for those few. He was often chased by demons. Whenever he was chased, he would run to Ming Ting. It could not be helped. Who asked it to be the demon race commander under True Lord Ming Ting? Who else could it look for if not Ming Ting? "True Lord, please calm down. After all, it's the descendant of the Celestial Emperor. If it protects Jiao today, it might be repaid in the future, right?" Ming Ting thought for a while and nodded slightly. "If it wasn't the descendant of the Celestial Emperor, I would have joined forces with King Kuan and the rest to kill this demon based on the few times it caused trouble for me. He gave Jiao face because of the heavenly dog. Otherwise, he might not have tolerated it." Fong Ping smiled and said nothing. Soon, the 2 of them landed in a valley. Fong Ping looked around and smiled. "True Lord, if you want to become an emperor just based on what happened last time, the price is not enough. In the 3 realms, there are more than 1 or 2 peak-level emperors who want to become emperors. Do you think it's enough to deal with the two true gods last time, and that you were just a support? True Lord? Ming Ting stood opposite him, his eyes cold and stern. Speak. What else do you need me to do? Kill. Who? Venerable Emperor, true God. Ming Ting frowned slightly and said in a low voice, Now, powerhouses from the three realms are appearing frequently. The human race seems to be targeted by all parties recently. Someone must be trying to deal with you, right? That's right. Those who dare to deal with you now are definitely not ordinary people. They might even be saints. Although I don't want to die of old age. I don't want to die now. Fang Ping smiled. There are saints. I won't hide this. But since I'm here, I naturally have my ways to deal with the saints. But it's troublesome if there are too many venerable emperors and true gods. If they join forces, it'll be a big problem. Fang Ping chuckled. That's why I need your help to deal with one venerable emperor or three true gods. Don't worry, I, Fang Ping, am not someone who will die. Without full confidence, I'd rather hide in misery. Who can really find me? Venerable Emperor, Ming Ting frowned. Fang Ping said mildly, I can let you become a venerable emperor first. Of course, let me be frank. There are many drawbacks to becoming an emperor as an origin. The biggest drawback is you've become an emperor, an origin realm emperor. So you might be controlled by the owner of the origin realm. Ming Ting frowned suddenly, his face full of reluctance. Despite his reluctance, Ming Ting asked quickly, Is there a chance to escape from control? He did not say he would not do it, becoming an emperor, extending his life, even if he had to work like a slave. It was fine. There was no such thing as a free lunch. Where there was gain, there must be sacrifice. He only wanted to know if it was for the rest of his life or if there was a chance to escape control. Fang Ping smiled. Yes, you've become an emperor. I still need you now, but I've become a heavenly king. Emperor level is nothing at that time. Do you think I'll deliberately care about a venerable emperor? I control the human race. There are so many people in the human race, but they're still at my mercy. Who have I controlled? Because they're too weak. They're not worth it. You're the same. If I become a heavenly king, you'll be free. Unless you think you can keep up with me, you'll also become a saint or a heavenly king by then. There's no way to escape completely. There is. Fang Ping said indifferently, You've gained my recognition. I'll return your great Tao that's been replaced to you for you to assimilate. What do you mean? After you enter the origin realm, if you want to become an emperor, you'll have to replace your current Tao with an emperor's Tao. Your Tao will be under my control. If I shatter your Tao, you know what the consequences will be. Fang Ping said bluntly, After you've gained my recognition, you'll have to hand your Tao to yourself. Whether you assimilate it or hide it has nothing to do with me. By then, even an origin realm won't be able to control you. I can assimilate it. Perfected Lord Ming Ting's face lit up. Fang Ping shook his head. Maybe, just maybe, it's very, very difficult. The origin realm is very complicated. It's replaced your own great Tao and gave you an external Tao. It's fine if you don't assimilate it. If you do, there might be a huge repulsion and both Taos might explode. Ming Ting was not surprised. He said in a low voice, As long as there's a chance. We've been gambling with our lives for so long. I'm afraid there's no hope at all. If there's hope, it's worth it. In the past, I missed the chance to enter the Sky Tomb. Fake Sky Tomb. Fang Ping said calmly, You still don't understand? Even the cat is in the three realms. How can there be a true Sky Tomb? The Sky Tomb is merely my setup to let the powerhouses of the three realms leave. Who knew that someone would be revived? Otherwise, the three realms now would be my three realms. You guys always think that you're the winners. Little do you know that after tens of thousands of years, the humans are the ones in charge. It's not your turn. Fake Sky Tomb, Ming Ting had guessed it previously. However, at this moment, his expression was still complicated. He did not know if he was disappointed or relieved. He had missed it previously and could not enter. For that, he had stayed in the Forbidden Sea to find the Sky Tomb and enter. But now his hope was shattered. However, there was hope for him to become an emperor. Ming Ting took a light breath and looked at Fang Ping. I agree. You help me become an emperor. I'll help you kill the enemy. Fang Ping laughed. A small house appeared in his hand. Ming Ting's eyes flickered. Fang Ping said lightly, You can try to snatch it now. You're very confident. Fang Ping was indifferent. You're not an emperor yet. You're just a near emperor. I'm a near emperor. My combat strength is not at its peak. I'm confident that I can kill you. Ming Ting's expression changed slightly. Fang Ping looked him straight in the eye. Do you think I, Fang Ping, am a fool? That I'll trust anyone so easily? Including you. I've also investigated for a long time. I only showed up after confirming that there's no ambush. It's not that easy to kill me. I've been cultivating martial arts for 3 years and survived hundreds of battles. Did I really rely on luck? True Lord, the Origin House is right here. Are you willing to take a gamble or kill me now and snatch the Origin House? What's your strength? Is there a need to ask? Ming Ting's eyes flickered. Take a gamble? Kill Fang Ping and snatch the Origin House. He wouldn't be controlled by others. Or go in and replace his Tao. He wanted to kill Fang Ping. No powerhouse would be willing to be controlled by others. However, the moment this thought appeared in his mind, he suddenly felt a sense of danger. This time, Ming Ting suddenly deflated. He looked at Fang Ping. He seemed to have aged a lot. He said softly, All right, then I'll enter the Origin House. Fang Ping, I hope you'll do as you say. I don't want to lie to someone who's about to die. But you've done this a lot. Ming Ting snorted. You have no credibility. You've done this a lot. Human King Fang Ping, do you really think you're still a nobody? Who doesn't know about your deeds? But it was also because of this that he was even more afraid. This person was sinister and cunning. Since he dared to come, maybe he really had the confidence to kill him. He did not dare to gamble with his life now. Fang Ping smiled. He did not care. Then please enter. True Lord. However, there are many fake Daos. True Lord, don't bite off more than you can chew. Replace them casually. Otherwise, your Tao will collapse and you'll die completely. After all, True Lord is close to an emperor. It's fine to replace a longer Tao. There's no need for the others. All right. True Lord Ming Ting said no more. He looked at the Origin House. In the next moment, he rushed into it. Fang Ping watched him disappear in front of him and smiled. This person was quite bold. In the Origin House, including the ones I've collected, there are a total of 5 Emperor Daos and 27 True God Daos. Fang Ping stood where he was and pondered for a moment. Emperor Daos. If one did not have peak level strength, there was not much use in replacing them. If one's golden body was not strong enough, it would be normal for one to explode. Earth Xing was an example. He was an impasse powerhouse, after all. In the end, he did not become an emperor quickly after replacing Emperor Daos. His golden body was still the same. When he erupted earlier, he almost exploded his golden body. Emperor Daos were only suitable for peak level strength. Therefore, humans could not use it. Fang Ping also did not want Old Wu to replace him. If he replaced him, his combat strength would not increase much. Moreover, it would completely destroy his potential. Emperor Daos aside, True God Daos might be useful. However, I need a rank 9 martial artist. Now that Ming Ting has replaced his Tao, he will be close to an emperor. Soon, he will become a true emperor. As Fang Ping thought about this, something that looked like a small dragon suddenly appeared in his hand. Fang Ping took a look. The small dragon was struggling as if it wanted to soar into the sky. Fang Ping laughed. He did not care. He quickly tore the void and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Lord Guardian, at this moment, in an overseas immortal island, Earthshing suddenly barged into the main hall. He frowned and said, "Are we really going to continue waiting here?" Fengyan was holding a teacup and reading a book. He looked up and said, "What do you want?" "Get out." Earthshing said in a low voice, "The three realms are in turmoil now. We've offended King Kuan. Now, we should take this opportunity to find a force to rely on. In the sea, there are Spirit Emperor, Beast Emperor, God Emperor, East Emperor, South Emperor, and 6 extreme meridian powerhouses. Both you and I have Emperor-level strength. We will be honored guests no matter where we go." "Honored guests?" Taoist Fengyan smiled, faintly. "More like a pawn. Don't tell me we'll keep waiting here." Earthshing looked at him, his eyes deep. "Guardian, you should have your own home, but I don't. Don't tell me you're going to bring me to rely on someone else, protector." He was not stupid. Taoist Fengyan did not rely on anyone now. It was very likely that he already belonged to someone else. As for which side, it was unlikely that it would be King Kuan. Taoist Fengyan laughed. "Don't be impatient. Today is just the beginning, not the end. Don't be anxious. If you bet too early, you'll easily become cannon fodder." As he spoke, Earthshing's expression changed. The next moment, Taoist Fengyan's expression changed as well. He sighed. "You've replaced the great Tao. Trouble is coming." Earthshing's expression changed drastically. At this moment, the void in front of both of them was torn apart. "Both of you, it's been a long time. Just a few days." Taoist Fengyan sighed. This old man should abandon Earthshing. As he spoke, Earthshing threw a punch at Fang Ping. Fang Ping's aura was gone. The saint token turned into a glove, wrapping around his right hand. He also threw a punch. Crack! As both of them collided, the void shattered. A deep 4-petal black lotus appeared. Earthshing took a few steps back, crushing the ground. His expression turned extremely ugly once again. Although he did not become a venerable emperor on his own, he became one with the help of external great Tao. However, his maximum vitality had still reached about 2 million calories. He was a venerable emperor in the truest sense. However, because great Tao was external, his control of strength was slightly weaker. His golden body was also slightly weaker. His control was only about 75%. Even so, his explosive power had exceeded 1,500,000 calories. But now that he was exchanging blows with Fang Ping, his right fist was shattered. Golden blood splattered. He was no match for Fang Ping. Both of them had been separated for less than half a month. Half a month ago, what was Fang Ping's strength? When he left, Fang Ping had not even broken 4. He was much weaker than him. At this moment, Taoist Fengyan's expression changed. That day when he and Earthshing left, Fang Ping had indeed not broken 4. After he left, Fang Ping went into closed-door cultivation. Only then did he reach the stage of breaking 4. Now, Earthshing, who had become an emperor, was actually repelled by a punch from Fang Ping. Fang Ping looked at Earthshing and said lightly, "Attack me? Aren't you afraid that I'll crush your great Tao and let you die? If you're not confident that you can kill me, then behave yourself. Why seek death?" As soon as he finished speaking, a small dragon appeared in Fang Ping's hand. At this moment, the small dragon was struggling violently. Earthshing's expression changed again and again. That was his own great Tao. He was too familiar with it. Humph! The god-slaying saber appeared in Fang Ping's hand, his expression unfriendly. What do you think will happen if I sever this Dao? Earth Xing's expression changed again. Taoist Feng Yun sighed. King, speak your mind. One venerable emperor or 3 true gods? Choose. Fang Ping said calmly. Someone wants to attack me. I want to kill them. It's just 7 or 8 saints. I'll think of a way to deal with them. You, Earth Xing, help me deal with those shrimps. You and Ming Ting both have emperor-level combat strength. Even if you're not as strong as other venerable emperors, it won't be difficult to deal with 3 true gods. Earth Xing took a deep breath. 7 or 8 saints. More or less. You're seeking death. I've courted death many times. In the evil sect, there were so many powerhouses, but I didn't die, let alone now. Fang Ping sneered. Do you think this is all I have? Do you really think I can only rely on you guys to withstand the crisis? What a joke. Cut the crap. Tell me, do you agree or not? It's that simple. Earth Xing's expression turned ugly. Fine, but if a saint attacks, I'll escape immediately. Before I leave, you must return the great Tao to me. Sure. Fang Ping did not say much. He looked at Taoist Feng Yun. You have your camp. I can't force you to do anything, but if you attack me, you'll die too. It's that simple. King, you're very confident. I like to say ugly things first. Fang Ping said mildly, you're very strong. I even suspect that you have the strength of a saint. You've just never shown it. But so what? It doesn't matter who's standing behind you. I only need to know if they're friend or foe. Taoist Feng Yun sighed softly. At least we're not enemies now, are we? Then I'll ask one more thing. What's the background of the extreme path disciple that appeared now? There's no such person in the information you gave me previously. Taoist Feng Yun thought for a while. I'm not too familiar. Back then, Heaven Destroyer Emperor had many disciples. Later on, some died and some scattered. His name seems to be Lin Hai. He's indeed Heaven Destroyer Emperor's disciple. Saint-level strength should be. Taoist Feng Yun shook his head. It's very difficult to distinguish an emperor from a saint. If he doesn't attack, you won't be able to tell. Back then, he was just an emperor. Maybe he became a saint later on. Will he help Yao Qingjun? It's hard to say. Taoist Feng Yun said mildly. Whether or not Yao Qingjun is the reincarnation of Heaven Destroyer Emperor aside, even if he is, he's just Yao Qingjun. Unless he revives and becomes Heaven Destroyer Emperor, no one knows what Lin Hai's attitude will be. Understood. Fang Ping nodded and looked at Earth Xing. Enter the origin realm. Earth Xing's expression darkened. He said gloomily, you want to lock me in a cage? Cut the crap. Ming Ting is inside too. Do you think you can hide it from the saints if you catch them off guard? Earth Xing took a deep breath. Without another word, he quickly entered the origin realm. Fang Ping put the origin realm away. Taoist Feng Yun's eyes flickered when he saw him put the origin realm away. You're lucky to have obtained the origin soil. It's not a bad idea to hide them in the origin world, but aren't you afraid that they'll cause trouble in your origin world? They're not as strong as me. I can suppress them directly. Having said that, Fang Ping smiled. Aren't you going to invest in me? You're a smart man. It's not a bad idea to pay for your life. Maybe you'll need my help in the future? Taoist Feng Yun smiled faintly. It's not time yet. You're not qualified enough. What if I win this time? No, even if I don't win, how many saints can I kill at this critical moment? Taoist Feng Yun's eyes flickered. He said in a low voice, if you really have the strength to kill a saint, I can take a gamble at a critical moment. But you can't withstand the crisis this time. It's impossible for me to help you. Fong Ping, if you want people to invest in you, then you have to let them see your own strength, not external objects. Let's wait and see then. Fong Ping smiled. You can also hit me when I'm down. Of course, I believe that you're a smart man. Before the situation is settled, you won't do such a thing. If you really do it, then I'll be relieved. Relieved about what? Fong Ping did not say, but Taoist Fengyan knew. He did not say anything. Fong Ping did not continue to stay either. In the blink of an eye, he disappeared on the spot. After he left, Taoist Fengyan's expression was a little strange. Very strong. Fong Ping improved too quickly. He didn't break 5, and he's not emperor level either, but he's not weaker than the average emperor level. What kind of state is he in? Taoist Fengyan did not understand. After a long time, he recalled what he asked Fong Ping that day. Had he really become a true god? With your style, you're so low-key on the day you become a true god. Don't tell me you haven't become a true god yet. Impossible. Don't tell me the legend of double nines only works at rank 9. That's underestimating double nines. Fong Ping, Taoist Fengyan's expression changed for a while. He was in slight disbelief and did not dare to believe it. Had this person really become a true god? This time, he was really a little doubtful. If he did not, it was simply terrifying. Suppressing the palpitation in his heart, Taoist Fengyan looked in the direction where he left and fell into deep thought. This time, what should he choose? Money to buy his life. It sounded like a joke, but it might not be unreasonable. Scenes flashed in Taoist Fengyan's mind. He recalled all of Fong Ping's experiences. This was a magical guy. Chapter 1153. Chubby Face, do you still want to eat? I'm stuffed. Magic City Catacombs. Fang Yuan looked aggrieved. She could not eat any more. Big Cat wanted more barbecue. The cat said sympathetically, You can't do it. You've only eaten so little, and you're already stuffed. Let me tell you, one meal will last you 10,000 years. You've only eaten a month's worth. Fang Yuan did not want to speak. 1 meal for 10,000 years. Are you talking to me? No wonder this cat was so fat. It was all food. Every fatness came from eating. I don't believe you'll get fat just from drinking water. Big Cat, what do we do now? The cat was innocent. How would it know what to do? It felt like it was going to hit them. Chubby Face, when we fight later, I'll eat you. Don't be afraid. Huh. I'll eat you. The cat said matter-of-factly. How else can I protect you? I can only eat you. Fang Yuan was stunned. You want to eat me? How? I'll eat you in one bite. The cat ate the barbecue. It was a monster from God knows where, but it ate it with relish. Fang Yuan was depressed. She whispered, Big Cat, is my brother really okay? I don't know. The cat shook its head. It felt very dangerous this time. It did not know if the liar had a way to solve this. The person who wanted to kill him was running out of patience. If there's no other way, I can only run. Big Dog, and the rest went to the celestial cemetery. There's no safe place in the 3 realms, so I can only run to the celestial cemetery. Big Cat, can't you save my brother? Fang Yuan was worried. She felt that the cat was very powerful. The cat muttered, I can't fight. I can only call for help. But I can't call for help now. They've all run away. What can I do? It was not good at fighting. If it wanted to call for help, there used to be people, but there was no one now. Blowing the whistle would not work. Moreover, it had thrown the heavenly bell into the fake celestial cemetery to bet on the eye of the bathhouse. It could not call for help even if it wanted to. Whether the liar could survive this or not depended on himself. The old cat shook its head and sighed. The liar was beaten to death. There won't be any feast in the future. Of course not. Fang Yuan gritted her teeth. My brother will definitely kill them. The cat did not say much. It rubbed its round belly with its paw and said, "Let's go to Kwokang Mountain. If we don't leave now, someone will really beat us up." Mao stood up on its hind legs, swaying its old man steps as it walked over. Fang Yuan hurried to catch up. They didn't fly either. They just walked. At the back, in the void, voices could be heard again. "Is Mao going to Kwokang Mountain?" "Kwokang Mountain has already been destroyed. Gong Juanzi has left Kwokang Mountain. Will Fang Ping go into closed-door training there? I suspect that the cat is deliberately luring us there." "It's possible, but let's stick to the plan." "Is there anything unusual with Heavenly Wood?" "Tianmu is patrolling the human world. Demonic City has already sent people to investigate. However, Fang Ping's whereabouts are mysterious. No one knows where he is. A storm is coming. Mount Wangu, on top of a mountain peak." Saint Yue murmured, hands behind her back. She looked into the distance with an indescribable loneliness. Behind her, Ling Xiao said softly, "Grandmaster, the war in the outer region has started again. Fang Ping intimidated everyone previously. The Celestial Emperor appeared. The human world has entered a period of peace. Now, there's a dispute again. The catacombs don't have the guts. Who is stirring up trouble behind the scenes?" Yue said coldly, "In troubled times, who can intimidate who? At our level, even if it's a heavenly king. So what? We're resurrected from the dead. For the opportunity, for the future, no one will be merciful." Ling Xiao was silent. After a while, she said, "Immortal Quest Islands Yu Wuhua has already entered the outer region, entered the 6 southern regions. She's not moving. I don't know what she's going to do. I think she might have already achieved true God. Dragon Island's Longxian has also entered the 6 southern regions. His aura is completely different from before. He might have entered true God too. And Boundless Mountain's Luoyu, I'm afraid he has also achieved true God. Right now, he's staying near the 8 southern regions' waters. Li Wuji appeared in the 7 southern regions before and left quickly. There's still no movement from Medicine God Island. 7 planets Moi Heaven and Howding Shao Heaven are also quiet for now. Ling Xiao reported all the information of the past 2 days. Sage Wei did not pay much attention to it. Suddenly, she said, "You've met the current king Yenluo before. You're familiar with him. Do you think this King Yenluo can achieve great things?" Ling Xiao frowned slightly. After thinking for a while, she said, "This person is hard to say. He's domineering, arrogant, savage, and conceited." Ling Xiao listed a bunch of shortcomings. In the end, she changed the topic and sighed softly. "But this person is getting stronger the more he fights. The human race is also getting stronger. When I met him, he was only rank 8. Actually, it hasn't been that long, less than 2 months. That time, he led the human rank 9s into the graveyard of gods. In one battle, he killed thousands of rank 9s and many true gods. After that, he annihilated the 3 major grotto heavens and destroyed the divine sect. Actually, all these happened within these 2 months." Ling Xiao shook her head. "I can't see through this person. He's even more unpredictable than King Yenluo. When King Yenluo was around, Grandmaster actually came out to observe once. Yu Wei's interest was piqued. She smiled. How does Moon's spirit evaluate King Yenluo? She had heard some of the things that happened before from Ling Xiao and the rest. However, it was said that Moon's spirit had always been in closed-door cultivation. Ling Xiao smiled. Grandmaster said that King Yenluo is very strong and very talented. He's also a peerless monster born in this era. However, although King Yenluo is strong and has an invincible posture, King Yenluo also has shortcomings. Yes. Ling Xiao thought for a while. King Yanluo's shortcomings are very obvious. He really has great love for the human race. Yu Wei was silent for a while. Then she said in a low voice, "What moon spirit means is, so King Yanluo is actually restrained by the humans." Ling Xiao said seriously, "At King Yanluo's level, during the battle in the Graveyard of Gods, he even had the combat strength of a saint. After merging with the path, he's close to the heavenly king realm. However, all these years, King Yanluo has been enduring pain, torture, humiliation. His family and friends have died in battle in the catacombs. He can only watch, not daring to take one step into the catacombs. When he was young, he had a lot of good friends. King Yanluo was born in the streets and values loyalty the most. When he was young, if his friends were bullied, King Yanluo would definitely repay them. He never tolerated it. However, ever since his godfather, the previous Minister of Education, died in battle in the catacombs, King Yanluo changed. He carried more things on his back. The times when he dared to make a move decreased. He's actually being controlled by the humans." Yu Wei nodded lightly. At this time, Ling Xiao said in a low voice, "But Fang Ping is different. He's also a human king, another human king after King Yanluo. But Fang Ping might not be controlled by the humans." "What?" Yu Wei was slightly surprised. What did he mean? Ling Xiao said softly, "If it's King Yanluo, we might be able to use the humans to force him. But Fang Ping, he's different. In his mind, the humans might not actually be the first. They might not even be in the top 3. Even if the humans are destroyed, he's still Fang Ping. If someone destroys the humans now, King Yanluo will risk his life. Fang Ping will hide." Ling Xiao said seriously, "He will definitely not go out to die when he knows he's going to die. King Yanluo is a hero. Fang Ping..." After a while, Ling Xiao said, "I think Fang Ping is an ambitious person. He's not a hero. Even if he looks like one now, he's not. Heroes have their flaws, and heroes will die too. But an ambitious person, I think it's hard for him to die." "An ambitious person?" Yu Wei smiled faintly. "Is this your evaluation of him?" Ling Xiao nodded. "Yes, this person is harder to deal with than King Yanluo. King Yanluo in his youth might be similar to him, but after becoming a human king, King Yanluo has already been restricted. One was the humans in front, the other was himself in front." This was the answer Ling Xiao gave. King Yanluo was a hero, but it was hard for heroes to live long. The day the humans were destroyed would be the day King Yanluo died in battle. There would be no accidents. But Fang Ping, if the humans were destroyed, that guy might still be roaming freely in the 3 realms. Yu Wei fell into deep thought. "You mean if he encountered danger, he might escape and not choose to fight to the death?" "Maybe," Ling Xiao said softly. "Unless he's confident. Otherwise, he won't send himself to death so easily. The confidence I'm talking about is a chance of winning, not a 100% chance of dying. Even if the chance of winning is only 10%, he might still try. But if it's a dead end, I'm afraid he won't." Sage Yu Wei fell into deep thought. At this moment, Sage Yu Wei's expression changed slightly. Her figure flashed and disappeared. In the next moment, she appeared outside the boundary wall. "Come out." Behind her, Ling Xiao followed closely, her expression strange. "What happened to Sage Yu Wei? Come out." Sage Yu Wei slapped her palm. Her jade-like palm pierced through the space, but there was nothing in the space. At this moment, a shadow appeared behind her. Sage Yu Wei turned sideways and was about to slap. The palm wind swept past, and in the next moment, her jade-like hand stopped beside the shadow's head. At this moment, Ling Xiao finally realized it. She took a few steps back and looked sideways. With one look, she frowned. "Fang Ping, The shadow was very illusory, but it also emitted a faint golden glow. This was Fong Ping's clone. She had seen a clone like this before. Fong Ping had shown it before. "It's me." The shadow laughed. His face was illusory as he looked at the two of them, especially Sage Yue. He bowed slightly and said, "Greetings, Sage Yue." Yue's expression was cold. The royal manor doesn't welcome outsiders. "I'm not an outsider." Fong Ping smiled. The royal manor's outer sect, Earth's Mount Wangu, is under the jurisdiction of the king, and I am the current king of man. If that's the case, then naturally I'm not an outsider. Am I right? Yue did not want to argue with him. She said lightly, "Aren't you afraid that I will take you down for coming here?" "Why would I?" Fong Ping smiled. Sage Yue is a smart person, a wise saint. Could she be like those useless Tiangue, blinded by greed? Those idiots have just awakened. Their brains are probably still wet. What do they know? In human terms, this is called retarded. Both of them looked at him, frowning. Fong Ping smiled again. "Moon Spirit Heavenly King and I are friends despite the difference in age." "Bastard!" Ling Xiao growled. Fong Ping said indifferently, "Who are you to interrupt when powerhouses are talking?" "Ling Xiao, if you dare to speak rudely again, don't blame me for settling the score with you." "You what?" Fong Ping's face appeared, instantly icy, his gaze cold. "You're just a true god. Do you really think you can be presumptuous in front of me just because you've recovered your strength?" Sage Yue raised her hand lightly, stopping Ling Xiao. She looked at Fong Ping and said coldly, "You're not qualified to be presumptuous in front of me either." "Is that so?" Fong Ping smiled. "Respecting the elderly is fine. As for the others, are you talking about strength? How do you know that my strength is inferior to yours?" As soon as he said that, Yu Wei's expression changed slightly. Fong Ping chuckled. "Let's not talk about strength. Respecting the elderly and loving the young is everyone's responsibility. Let's cut the crap. I won't play dumb either. I hate some people from Moon Spirit Heavenly King's royal manor, but I don't hate all of them. Previously, in the Battle of the King Battleground, Moon Spirit Heavenly King helped. I still remember the favor. There are people who want to cooperate with me, but I have the temper of a donkey. Even if you want to cooperate with me, it depends on whether I'm willing and whether I like you. I'm a person with high standards. I don't like most people unless they're to my liking. You're from Royal Manor. I have a good impression of Moon Spirit Heavenly King. We can cooperate this time." Fong Ping did not wait for Ling Xiao to speak. He smiled faintly. "Don't interrupt. I'm just that insolent. This might be the last time the human race robs in foreign aid. At this time, those who can get on the train should get on it. Those who can't make it, forget it. Come with your real body," Yue said suddenly. Fong Ping gave her a deep look. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly. "Is it necessary? A clone doesn't represent the human race." "Is that so?" Fong Ping laughed. In the next moment, under their surprised gazes, Fong Ping's clone shattered. Fong Ping, who had compressed his body inside, revealed his real body directly. "Sage Yue, what about now?" Yu Wei's expression kept changing. How dare he? She did not expect Fong Ping to dare to appear directly. His real body. Was this arrogance? Or did he think that she could not kill him? Ling Xiao was also shocked. Immediately after, her expression turned solemn. "Aren't you afraid that the saints will attack?" "Afraid?" Fong Ping laughed. "If I was afraid, I wouldn't have appeared. Saints are not heavenly kings. Can saints break 6? I'm a 9th refinement golden body. Even jade bones are about to be formed. Without the ability to break 6, can they break my golden body? Jade bones..." Ling Xiao was puzzled. Yu Wei frowned. You have jade bones? Almost. Fang Ping laughed. I don't have it now. It's just a matter of time. Now, Sage Yu Wei, can we talk? You're very bold. The bold will die from overeating, while the timid will die from starvation. Fang Ping did not think much of it. He chuckled. I want to be a ghost that dies from overeating. This time, I want to slaughter a few saints for a sumptuous meal. Can I do it if I'm not bold? You want me to help you? It's mutually beneficial. What benefits do I have? Fang Ping chuckled. There are. Do you want to become a heavenly king? If you do, wait for old Zhang to come out. I'll let him teach you. How about that? Sage Yu Wei's expression darkened. What a joke. Do you think I'm joking? Fang Ping chuckled. I'm serious. Of course, if you don't believe me, I have no way. How about this? 10,000 cloud origin energy. I'll hire you once. Help me hold off a saint. When it's over, I'll give it to you. 10,000 clouds. Yu Wei frowned again. Ling Xiao was a little shocked. Was it for real? Rank 9 martial artists Source World could store 500 cloud origin energy at most. At impasse, of course, it would be much stronger. Near emperors could probably store 5,000 clouds. 10 times difference. At emperors, it would be even more. 10,000 clouds. Even emperors could store that much. However, no one would store so much. With so much origin energy, who would not use it to open up their Daos. 10,000 clouds. Even saints could not store this much. As for origin energy, it could be used to repair, expand, and open up the Daos of origin. Yu Wei and the others had dried up their origin for many years. At this moment, they were in closed-door cultivation because they needed to stabilize the origin space and strengthen their flesh. Their flesh was easier to handle. Every major force had some imperishable substances. However, origin energy, they really did not have it. 10,000 clouds blocked a saint. Yu Wei looked at him and said lightly, How can I believe you? Ling Xiao was also dissatisfied. Fang Ping, what you say is 9 lies and 1 truth. How can I believe you? Is my reputation that bad? Fang Ping grinned. It's just 10,000 clouds. Do I care? Having said that, he threw a cloud cluster, and it instantly merged into Ling Xiao's body. Ling Xiao was shocked. She did not even have time to dodge. Soon, however, her expression changed. Origin energy. Fang Ping laughed. It's just a bonus. It's just 100 clouds. Of course, if you rely on your own hard work, it'll probably take years. I'm a generous person. This is considered a free gift. It's nothing. Saint Yu Wei, there's not much time for you to recover now. Once you recover, all right, the Great War of the 3 Realms is over. If you want to recover quickly, you can't do it without me. How about it? Are you willing? You've really surprised me. There's nothing surprising about it. Fang Ping said, lazily, everyone in the world is motivated by profit. If there were benefits, they would do it if they could. If they couldn't, there would be a long line of people queuing up. There are some people that I don't like. Even if I'm willing to cooperate with them, I won't have the chance. Oh, right, there are more people working with me this time. The Demon Emperor will make a move, the old cat will make a move, and a heavenly king will also make a move. As for who it is, let's not talk about it. In any case, it's very strong. It's a guy who created a clone. You might know him, but don't reveal his identity. What about you? Are you willing to join us? This time, Yu Wei's expression really changed. He's still alive? You mean the Demon Emperor or that person? That one. Of course I'm alive. I'm living a good life. I've been watching some short movies recently. Fang Ping made a lame joke, but Yu Wei ignored it. Her expression was solemn as she asked, Fang Ping, is what you said true? Of course. Fang Ping said in a relaxed tone, Fong Ping, want to find someone to help. It's very simple. Yu Wei fell silent for a moment before she said slowly, All right, give me the item first. Give it to me later. If you die, then wouldn't this consort have worked for nothing? That can't be helped. If I'm dead, why would I care about you? Fong Ping said it directly. He could not help but laugh. If I'm dead, you guys can go do whatever you want. I'll still give you benefits. Am I crazy? If I give you benefits, and you guys use it to kill me, am I an idiot? I still have to guard against you going back on your word. Don't tell me you really think that I trust you 100%. I'll give it to you later. Myriad Cloud Origin Chi is nothing. It's not that I can't afford it. I won't go back on my word. Sage Yu Wei, what's your decision now? Yu Wei nodded lightly. The next moment, she struck with her palm. Bang! With a crisp sound, Fong Ping, who was still here a moment ago, was directly struck into nothingness. Yu Wei's expression changed slightly. At this time, the void was torn apart. Fong Ping appeared again, sighing. If I say it's the real body, then it's the real body. Just add a little more imperishable substance. I have plenty of it. Add a little more origin chi and restrain my aura. Do you really think it's the real body? But I'm just within a 30 li radius. Sage Yu Wei, do you still want to make a move? If you make a move, you can take your time to search. Maybe you'll find me. But next time, I'll ambush and kill you guys day and night. I hope you guys are enough for me to kill. I'm a narrow-minded person. I'm just testing the King of Man's strength. Yu Wei was very indifferent. I only saw the King of Man's cunning, but not his strength. Do you want to try? Fong Ping laughed wantonly. If you want, there'll be plenty of chances. Yu Wei's expression was icy. After a while, she said, 100,000 cloud origin chi. This palace will help you hold one person back. Saints, it's not as simple as you think. That's too expensive. With this price, I can hire a heavenly king. Fong Ping chuckled. 20,000 clouds. If you can do it, then do it. If you can't, then we part on good terms. I'll go talk to Tiangui again. See if I can trick a few people to death this time. Both of them looked at him, their faces cold. Do you think we're idiots? Tiangui? Fong Ping laughed incomprehensibly. What's wrong? Unbelievable. Don't doubt me. That was arranged by me. I deliberately lured those guys who are hostile to me. I'm telling you, that's so you don't hurt your own people. This time, I want to catch all those who are hostile to me and humans in one fell swoop. When you see Tiangui, don't do anything to him. Tiangui will fake a fight with me. At the crucial moment, he will turn on me and kill the others. In terms of tactics and conspiracies, I don't care about that. When it comes to conspiracies, don't think that you guys have lived for so long. You might not know as much as I do. Fong Ping laughed. You guys have lived for so long. Other than cultivation, what else do you know? I know a lot. I've experienced a lot too. Don't compare yourselves to me. Fong Ping finally looked at Ling Xiao. He smiled. If you're interested, you can participate too. Killing a true god, I'll give you 1,000 clouds. It's not cheap. Ling Xiao, you've offended me many times. If you offend me again this time, there'll be no room for negotiation. Having said that, Fong Ping's apparition dissipated completely. Yu Wei said coldly, Time and place. When the saints fight, just come. Fong Ping's voice trailed off. In the next moment, Yu Wei struck the void with a palm. In the void, Fong Ping's avatar shattered. On the side, another avatar rose up, laughing. I'm here. Do you still want to kill? It's not like you need to cut your mentality. I'm within a 30 li radius. I'll control it personally. Why don't you try and see if you can find me? Twice. A third time, I'll take it that you're insincere. Yu Wei's expression turned colder. She said lightly, "Coward." "Ha ha." Fang Ping laughed. "Don't provoke me. Really. If you want to cooperate, then cooperate. Provoking me is useless. I've already said that I'm narrow-minded. You just have to provoke me. Aren't you afraid that I'll become the ultimate winner and kill all of you?" "Who am I? I'm a devil." Fang Ping burst into laughter. In the blink of an eye, he disappeared completely. Yu Wei stood on the spot. Her expression changed again. Ling Zhao's expression was solemn. She said in a low voice, "Grandmaster, go back." Yu Wei did not say much. Her expression was still cold. She felt threatened and pressured. Fang Ping was lurking near her, yet she did not notice anything amiss. Where was he? Both of them disappeared very quickly. When they disappeared, the void in their original spot fluctuated slightly. In the distance, Yu Wei suddenly turned around. In the next moment, the void shattered. Fang Ping's illusion appeared. "Do you think this is my real body? Don't joke around. I have millions and millions of clones." In the next moment, Fang Ping's illusions appeared in all directions. "Are you afraid?" Dozens of Fang Ping were laughing. Their laughter was terrifying. "I'm really leaving at this moment." 30 li away, the space fluctuated again. Fang Ping waved his hand in this direction. He entered the Forbidden Sea instantly and disappeared without a trace. "Scary," Yu Wei said suddenly. Ling Zhao's expression was solemn too. This guy was not here to cooperate. This was a demonstration. He was warning some people. Even if he did not want to help, it was best not to get involved. He was very sinister. He was also very scary. He restrained his aura. The saints could not discover him. He hid in the dark. That was the god of slaughter. He did not lack imperishable substance or origin chi. The clones he created all had rank 9 combat strength. Combat strength was not important. The clones that restrained their aura were even scarier because they did not know who the real Fang Ping was. They could not find him even if they tried. If such a person kept his eyes on a force who would not be afraid. Ling Zhao gritted her teeth. "He's threatening us." "Yes." Yu Wei said lightly, "It's a threat and a warning. All of us are variables. When the battle between the saints breaks out, we will arrive very soon. We are more of a threat than those who are participating in the battle." A group of onlookers was actually more terrifying than those who were participating in the battle. Yu Wei, Yuan Gang. These saints who did not participate in the resurrection were actually more alarming than those who were participating. Fang Ping was warning them. Very quickly, Saint Yu Wei said in a low voice, "Since he came to threaten us, it means that he thinks he can fight those people. He has a chance to win. Now he's here to eliminate some unexpected factors." As soon as she said that, Ling Zhao asked seriously, "Grandmaster, is the help you mentioned real?" "I don't understand the Demon Emperor. Is that person really not dead?" Yu Wei fell into deep thought. After a long time, she sighed. "Even if he doesn't participate, try not to get involved with Tiangui and the others. The situation in the 3 realms is more complicated than I thought. Ling Zhao understands." As she said that, Ling Zhao suddenly said telepathically, "Grandmaster, Fang Ping is a great threat. Do you think, if we attack him halfway, Yu Wei did not bat an eyelid?" She also said telepathically, "There are many people who are watching like us. Don't join the battle easily until the last moment. It's not that no one is optimistic about the humans. If that's the case, an unimaginable battle might break out in the end. Even among Tiangui and the others, there might be pawns that Fang Ping mentioned. Some might really be bribed, and some might change their minds halfway. Anything is possible if you have a good relationship with the human race. The powerhouses of the 3 realms are more complicated than you think." Ling Zhao's expression changed. She nodded. It was true. There might be people like that. At this moment, Fang Ping had already gone to many places. Everything that needed to be prepared was almost ready. In the Forbidden Sea, Fang Ping looked in the direction of 7 Southern Territory and laughed. It was time to walk the dog. "Big cat, get ready to work." Fang Ping chuckled and disappeared on the spot instantly. Chapter 1154. 7 Southern Territories. Not long after the cat and Fang Yuan made their move, the cat suddenly opened its mouth wide and swallowed Fang Yuan in one gulp. In the next moment, the cat shook its fat body and fled. "Liar, I can't pretend anymore." The cat roared and fled quickly, yelling pitifully, "There are so many of them. Let's run." At this moment, on the Sea of 7 Southern Territories, Fang Ping's aura erupted. His voice shook heaven and earth, laughing loudly. "Why are you running? They're just a bunch of trash who can't see the big picture clearly. Do they really think they can kill me?" After saying that, Fang Ping laughed loudly. "Come, let's walk the dog." Having said that, a dog bowl appeared in Fang Ping's hand, carved with a few big words. "Come and eat quickly." At this moment, the void shattered. At this moment, no one made a sound, but powerhouses broke through the void directly, charging toward Fang Ping. No one spoke. They wanted to kill Fang Ping. This was decided long ago. There was no room for negotiation. Fang Ping punched the void, laughing heartily. So impatient. The king of man shall fall. In the sky, someone was cold, tearing through the void, descending directly. Tiangui. Fang Ping also escaped from another space, laughing loudly. "Go and say this to the martial king. What are you being so arrogant for? Do you think you can still escape?" Tiangui was cold and indifferent. At this moment, in front of the cat, an old saint appeared, saying calmly, "Emperor Sky, please wait for a moment." The cat turned and fled. Behind him, another saint appeared. "Emperor Sky, this path is blocked." The cat looked aggrieved. "You want to rebel? You attacked me, the cat guard captain, and Big Dog will definitely kill you." Behind him, the middle-aged saint said lightly, "We dare not. Since Emperor Sky doesn't participate in the dispute of the 3 realms, why make an exception for Fang Ping?" The cat's big eyes turned and suddenly shouted, "Liar! I've helped you to hold back the 2 saints. You can run away by yourself." The 2 saints looked at each other, smiling, not minding. Suppressing the cat, 2 saints were not a lot. Seeing this, the cat muttered, "2 saints. I'll remember you. When Big Dog comes back, I'll let Big Dog beat you up." Their expressions changed slightly, and the old saint chuckled. "Song Di, we didn't do anything to you. We just let you watch a show. No matter how domineering the heavenly monarch is, he won't fall out with us. It's dog face. I'll definitely beat you to death, unless you accompany this cat to the sea to catch a big fish. Otherwise, you will definitely be out of luck." The 2 of them looked at each other and smiled. Soon, the old sage smiled and said, "Emperor Tsang, please." Fishing, we can also experience Emperor Tsang's interest. Their mission would be complete once they took the cat away. As for killing Fang Ping, there was still someone else. In the Forbidden Sea. At this moment, 2 sages had already appeared, one in the back and one in the air. The one in the sky was Tian Gui. Fang Ping did not recognize the person at the back. At this moment, Fang Ping shouted, "The fella at the back, introduce yourself. At least let me know who did this to me." "I am Heavenly Speed, one of the 36 saints." This person's title was Heavenly Speed, and his speed was really fast. As soon as Fang Ping finished speaking, the other party had already torn apart the void and located Fang Ping's position in an instant. The saint token appeared in Fang Ping's hand. A seal smashed open the space, and he fled again. At this moment, the void in front of him fluctuated. An old man with white hair and extremely long eyebrows descended, holding a long sword in his hand. He said lightly, "This path is blocked. I am Heavenly Sword." Fang Ping turned again. At this moment, on the left, a cold old woman appeared. "I am Heavenly Qiao. Tian Gui, Sky Speed, Sky Sword, Sky Qiao. For great sages, for of the 36 saints." At this moment, these people surrounded Fang Ping from all directions. Fang Ping's gaze changed. "Ruthless? Are there any more?" "Of course." At this moment, another saint appeared. She was also a woman, beautiful and alluring, extremely seductive. "I am Qing Mo. Where did you come from?" "Earth Emperor God Dynasty, Temple Master of all things." The coquettish woman laughed. "The Emperor massacred the people of the God Dynasty. You should know this day will come." 5 saints. At this moment, Qing Mo grinned. "The Emperor is waiting for Heavenly Wood. There's no need for that. One of the temple masters has gone over to Heavenly Wood. Heavenly Wood won't come to help." Fang Ping sighed. He looked around and said softly, 8 saints. What did Fang Ping, do to attract 8 saints? Old Cat took 2 saints with him. Heavenly Wood still had 1. There were 5 saints here, a total of 8 saints. At this moment, the chi dynamics of the 5 saints erupted. The entire Forbidden Sea seemed to be shaking. In order to kill Fang Ping, these people really went all out this time. 8 saints moved. At the same time, 6 southern regions, Imperial Sea Mountain. Wu Quishan's eyes were cold. Furchuan, Tianyu, Ji Hong. They really think highly of me. 3 true gods. Furchuan said lightly, "Snake King, the rise and fall of the human race is due to Fang Ping. He's too ostentatious." At this moment, in the direction of the Forbidden Sea, a monster roared at the sky. Wu Quishan saw Jiao and heaved a sigh of relief. However, in the next moment, a golden dragon, a roc, and a ferocious tiger appeared. The 3 true gods of the demon race moved. "Jiao, you won't be able to escape death, too. Be *starred. My ancestor is the Celestial Emperor. How dare you attack me?" "What a joke. How can the Celestial Emperor have descendants?" At this moment, the golden dragon Long Qi opened his mouth and said in a loud voice, "At most, you're just a strand of the Celestial Emperor's blood essence, a bastard born from the union of an unknown demon race. The first generation of golden-horned beasts is considered pure blood. Do you think you are?" Jiao was furious. It roared at the sky, its anger soaring. This guy was insulting it, insulting the noble descendant of the Celestial Emperor. 6 paragons surrounded Snake King and Jiao. 6 southern regions. 2 paragons were in danger. In the sea, Water Immortal Island. Wuqi Li's roar shook the sky. However, powerhouses were suppressing them from all directions. Kuan King, Crab King, and the others had arrived. "Wuqi Li, you're a demon powerhouse, a powerhouse of Emperor Nan's bloodline. Are you going to fight for the human race?" Kuan King said coldly, "You're a disgrace to Emperor Nan's bloodline." Wuqi Li roared, "You dare to surround and kill me on the Water Immortal Island. Who gave you the courage?" "Me." At this moment, a shadow stepped down from the sky with his hands behind his back. He said coldly, "Go back. For the sake of the Water Immortal Island, I won't kill you. If you dare to fight, you'll be dragging Emperor Nan's bloodline into the flames of war. Wuqi Li, you're not qualified." Wuqi Li roared at the sky. This was the heir of Emperor Nan's bloodline. He had taken over the Water Immortal Island. At this moment, Wuqi Li transformed into human form. a burly man appeared and roared, "I'm the king of the water immortal island, not Wuchi Li Li of Emperor Nan's bloodline. I only represent the water immortal island. What do you have to do with me?" "How dare you?" The person in the sky snorted. Wuchi Li roared and instantly transformed into his true form, a green water buffalo. He was hundreds of feet tall, and his 4 hooves stepped on the air. He roared, "I'm not afraid of you. If you dare to kill me, the patriarch will return and the water immortal island will rebel." Among Emperor Nan's bloodline, the water immortal island is more important than you. I'd like to see if you dare to kill me. If you kill me, Emperor Nan's bloodline will be completely destroyed. Do you really think I don't understand? Let me go. I have my own path. You have no right to make decisions on my behalf. The water buffalo's roar shook the sky. It didn't care. It had its own path, the path of the sea guardian. At this moment, this saint was involved in its struggle for the great path. It had already benefited from the human race and reached the peak. At this moment, its great path was not firm. Its future was uncertain. In the sky, the saint of Emperor Nan's bloodline had a cold expression. After a long time, he said coldly, "All right, since you want to die, then die. From today onwards, you, Wuchi Li, are no longer the heir of Emperor Nan's bloodline." "I don't care," Wuchi Li roared. He instantly broke free from the suppression and broke through the air. King Kuan and the others looked at the saint. The saint said indifferently, "Since you're not from Emperor Nan's bloodline, Wuchi Li has nothing to do with me." As soon as he said that, the few of them seemed to have received a holy order. They roared and chased after Wuchi Li. It was still the 6 southern regions. Yu Wu Hua and Long Xian gathered together. At this moment, their expressions were ugly. "Wu Hua, what should we do?" Emperor Tsang had been taken away. At this moment, they had received a holy order to evacuate this place. Emperor Tsang's safety was guaranteed. Yu Wu Hua felt the aura of 8 powerhouses nearby. 6 of them came from the catacombs. Glancing at Long Xian, Yu Wu Hua suddenly laughed. "Do you think Fang Ping can turn the tables?" They had received the news. Fang Ping would definitely die. 5 great saints besieged Fang Ping in the Forbidden Sea. Fang Ping could not escape even if he had wings. Long Xian said nothing. "Do you still remember the scene in the graveyard of gods that day?" Yu Wu Hua murmured. "That day, I wish I could be born at the same time." That day, the human race fought in all directions. In a desperate situation, he turned the tables. Fang Ping won. At that time, Wu Hua felt that martial arts cultivators should be like humans, even if they became demons. Kill a bloody path and fight for a future. 3,000 years ago, I wanted to achieve Tao, but I couldn't. At the end of that day's battle, I broke through the barriers of many years and found my own Tao. At this moment, Yu Wu Hua's aura flourished. Immortal Quest Island. Only ask about the immortal path. Today, I am inferior to the human race. The Emperor's successor. Small vision, small spirit, Wu Hua disdains to be associated with them. This woman, who Fang Ping had only seen a few times, burst out with incomparably brilliant light at this moment. "I am willing to fight for a future." 3,000 years ago, Luo Yu, Yu Wu Hua, Gu Qing, including Ling Xiao, these people were the pride of that era. However, 3,000 years later, some of them died, and some of them had not achieved Tao. Today, Yu Wu Hua wanted to fight for a future that she had decided for herself. Snake King Yu Wu Hua is here to help. At this moment, a golden ribbon pierced through the void. Yu Wu Hua laughed loudly, laughing boldly. She wanted to fight for a future. who said that women were inferior to men. Thank you, Fairy Wu Hua, for your help. Wu Quishan was overjoyed. The human race had once again welcomed external help. Below, Long Xian's expression changed. Then he gritted his teeth. Roar. The dragon's roar shook the sky, and a giant golden dragon appeared. Long Qi, you mixed blood dragon race, come and fight me. Long Xian roared. He was a dragon from Dragon Island, a descendant of the Dragon Emperor. Long Qi was a descendant of the Myriad Demon King. They were all dragons. As soon as these words came out, Long Qi was also furious. Your Dragon Island submitted to the Beast Emperor. I thought that you, Long Xian, were wise, but now it seems that you are also seeking death. As soon as he finished speaking, above the Forbidden Sea, the two giant golden dragons collided instantly. Blood splattered in the void. Jiao saw this and roared, swallowing the sky and the moon, frantically swallowing the entire void. Kill! Over at Imperial Sea Mountain, the battle also broke out instantly. The 4 paragons had just entered the paragon not long ago. As for the 6 true gods, some had already entered the true god realm for many years. However, at this moment when the two sides fought, it was still extremely cruel. The war broke out just like that. At this moment, all the powerhouses of the 3 realms were paying attention. Wangwu Mountain, the Emperor's bloodline, Emperor Nan, Emperor Shi, all the powerhouses of the Emperor's bloodline were watching the battle. The Extreme Path's disciples were also watching the battle. The Tiangui and the Catacombs had joined forces with some people to surround and kill Fang Ping. At this moment, Fang Ping might not be able to escape. 8 saints. Terrifying power. 8 saints could even defeat 7 heavenly kings. Even 6 heavenly kings could be defeated or even killed. In order to kill Fang Ping, it could be said that this time, the Tiangui had mobilized their strongest combat strength. Kill, then it must be a one-hit kill. Having studied Fang Ping's background, he knew the consequences if Fang Ping did not die. He must not let Fang Ping escape again. In the sky above the Forbidden Sea, in the direction of the 7 Southern Territory, Fang Ping was surrounded by 5 saints. No one listened to him. Almost instantly, these people attacked him. Fang Ping escaped into the sea instantly. However, at this moment, he was blasted out in the blink of an eye. In the sea, a giant monster appeared, speaking in human language. It said lightly, Earthly Emperor Dynasty, Jingqi. Fang Ping's expression changed drastically. An emperor-level demon. An emperor-level demon from the Earthly Emperor Dynasty era. Fang Ping did not waste any time. Without another word, he tore the void apart again. As soon as the void was torn apart, the Tiangui seals smashed over, and the void exploded. Fang Ping spat out a mouthful of blood. His military uniform was shredded. Cracks appeared on his golden body as he flew backward. On the other side, a few saints attacked one after another. Kill Fang Ping. At this moment, Fang Ping let out a low roar. 3 round balls were tossed out. Rumble! Heaven and earth shook. In the next moment, 3 masked men appeared. Yes, masked men. Not only were they masked, but at this moment, the 3 of them looked completely different. One was carrying a Changdao on his back, one was holding a spear, and the last was holding a staff. Divine saber, divine spear, trickster. 3 gods fight. The 3 of them roared at the same time. In the next moment, they went straight for Sky Speed, Sky Sword, and Sky Qiao. Tiangui was surprised and shocked. Who was this? He did not know. He could not tell whether they were real or fake. They looked like real people, but not at the same time. Where did these 3 saints suddenly appear in this world? At the same time, Mount Wangu, at the top of the mountain, This scene was displayed on a crystal screen. Saint Yuwei's expression changed slightly. It's really him. Back then, he only had emperor-level strength, but he was known as one of the strongest in the 3 realms. It was not because he was strong, but because he could forge divine weapons. The 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors were protecting him. Today, however, she saw a completely different scene. His clones. At this moment, the 3 doppelgangers had actually blocked 3 sages. Who is he? Ling Xiao was also shocked. Could these 3 be the same person? Don't ask. Yu Wei shook her head. This guy was a taboo. Yu Wei frowned. This person actually appeared. On the Forbidden Sea. The appearance of the 3 clones also shocked the others. Not only that, Fang Ping also threw out 2 people at this moment, Di Xing and Ming Ting, shouting, "Kill this whale and bring it back to stew." Ming Ting and Di Xing looked at each other, extremely solemn, emperor level, not just an ordinary emperor level, but an experienced emperor level. Although not a saint, the demon emperor level was slightly stronger. Although both of them had emperor level strength, they had just achieved it and might not be able to defeat it. However, at this time, they had no other choice. The 2 of them let out a low roar and charged toward the whales below them. Tiangui's expression changed. He said lightly, "Very capable." It was more terrifying than he expected. Fang Ping actually managed to summon 3 saints and 2 emperor levels to help him. This was beyond his expectations. However, there were still 2 saints at this moment. Tiangui, Qing Mo. At this moment, in the void, a figure appeared. His face was illusory, looking at Fang Ping with a complicated gaze. He said lightly, "2 saints. I can't help you hold them back. 1 person is enough. I'll leave that old witch to you." Fang Ping shouted coldly. Jiang Hao sighed softly and did not say anything else. He looked at Qing Mo. "Let's learn from each other." As soon as he said that, he rushed over and fought with Qing Mo. In 4 directions, 8 saint-level powerhouses were fighting. This time, Tiangui's expression really changed a little. Heavenly Wood, Tsang Mao. 2 emperor levels for saints. Where did Fang Ping get so many reinforcements? Not only that, at this moment, in the direction of 6 southern regions, 10 desperate realm powerhouses also began to gather. The sound of battle shook the sky. They began to fight in the direction of the Forbidden Sea. The strength of the human race was stronger than imagined. "But you still want to die," Tiangui shouted coldly, smashing the seal toward Fang Ping again. Fang Ping gritted his teeth, broke the void, and escaped dozens of miles in an instant. Tiangui arrived almost instantly. Rumble! A roar was heard. Fang Ping's back was hit directly. He gritted his teeth and sneered. "Come, let's play with this dog of yours. You're asking for death." Tiangui shouted coldly and blasted another punch. Fang Ping held the seal to defend, but he was no match for the saint. His golden body was directly smashed, smashing through the void. This blow, even if Fang Ping had some emperor-level characteristics, he was still seriously injured. However, the imperishable substance on Fang Ping's body gushed out like it was free and began to repair his injuries, but his injuries were still extremely serious. At this moment, Tiangui suddenly closed his eyes and snorted coldly. Fang Ping's origin qi overflowed from his body, bleeding from his 7 orifices. Severing Dao. "Do you think you're worthy of severing this saint's Dao?" Tiangui snorted coldly. Fang Ping was a little difficult to deal with, but it depended on who he was dealing with. He was a saint, an ancient saint. Fang Ping wanted to sever his Dao. It was a lunatic's ravings. Moreover, it was not like he did not know Fang Ping's ability. This kid, he had injured Fang Ping's origin instead. "Old man, you're amazing." Fang Ping laughed. "But I don't lack origin qi. Let's play slowly. Sooner or later, I'll toy with you until you die. Fong Ping took advantage of this gap and flew into the void again. You think you can run? Tiangui sneered. The big seal in his hand was suddenly thrown into the sky. Seal, rumble! At this moment, the big seal disappeared into the void. In the next moment, Fong Ping felt the arrival of big trouble. The void was even more solid. Saint's token. The existence of the Saint's token was originally to stabilize the world. At this moment, Tiangui threw the Saint's token into the void, suppressing this side of the world. Although Fong Ping could still fly, it was no longer like before when he could fly tens or hundreds of miles. It was only a few miles. For powerhouses, it was better not to fly into the void. You must die. Tiangui was indifferent. Let's see how you escape. Did you think the ancient saints were those useless true gods you killed? Fong Ping gritted his teeth and roared. His chi erupted. The void trembled. At this moment, a big seal appeared, breaking the void with one blow. You're quite capable. You're really going to become an emperor. Seeing Fong Ping's blow explode the void, Tiangui's gaze became colder. It was really too scary. How many days had it been? This guy really had some weak emperor-level combat strength. Go to hell. Tiangui's palm swept the void. Fong Ping roared, the god-slaying saber appearing, slashing his palm. Sparks flew everywhere. Fong Ping, on the other hand, suffered a violent shock. His golden body was actually trembling. Tremor force. He felt that he could not move from the shock. In the distance, Tiangui sneered. This was a saint. The huge palm grabbed Fong Ping in an instant. At this moment, there was a loud bang, and the palm exploded. Half of Fong Ping's golden body was destroyed, but most of it recovered in an instant. He escaped a few miles away, his face pale. This was a saint. He was indeed no match for him. Even if Tiangui had not recovered to his peak, he had at least a limit of 5 million calories, close to an 80% outburst. 6 million calories. If Fong Ping did not fight across the void and collided with him head-on, 3 moves would be enough to make Fong Ping's golden body explode. And he would die. Human bless me! At this moment, Fong Ping suddenly roared. At the same time, Earth. Countless people walked out of their houses. In the sky, a large number of powerhouses soared and walked. They roared one after another. The king is fighting everywhere again. We need to fight for the king, for the human race. The human race is strong. The king is strong. Everyone, break through. Below, there were thousands of people. Some were aspiring martial artists. Some were martial artists. At this moment, there was a common characteristic. They were about to break through. At this moment, the aspiring martial artists roared one after another, advancing to martial artists. The martial artists also absorbed the energy balls thrown by the powerhouses in the sky and absorbed them into their bodies. Some of them exploded instantly, but they were still roaring. There was not much they could do. They were chosen because they were about to break through. This was glory. It was also the human race's belief. Only breakthrough. They did not know if Fong Ping would become stronger if they broke through, but they knew that this was hope. It was also the only thing they, the people behind the scenes, could do. Sun City. Zhang Peng roared. 6 refinements. It was time to break through. 7 or 8 refinements. Rank. 9 was stronger than rank. 8. People of Sun City, advance with me. How can we avoid war in the king's hometown? I have advanced to rank 9. Martial artists who are willing to fight, follow me into the catacombs and quell the war. Fight. Unity was a stronghold. This was the king's hometown. There were no cowards. They could not afford to lose face. A rank 9 commander was also the only one in the world. This was glory. At this moment, a large amount of energy overflowed from Sun City. Countless people roared at this moment. Breakthrough. Zhang Peng also roared and took a step forward. In the void, a path flashed and disappeared, 100 meters long. It was not long, but today he had entered Origin, became a rank 9, and fought in the catacombs. As the descendant of the King Wu, he would not embarrass the human race. His father died young, and he, Zhang Peng, was the pillar of the Zhang family's eldest son. His younger siblings were still young, and his uncle's strength was not as good as his. At this moment, no one from the Zhang family was fighting in the catacombs. He, Zhang Peng, had to hold up the Zhang family's King Wu card. Break. Zhang Peng's golden body erupted, illuminating Sun City. In the next moment, he roared, "With the enemy's blood, I will forge my martial arts foundation. Everyone, those who can fight, enter the catacombs. Kill! Kill!" The roar shook the sky. At this moment, thousands of martial artists broke through the air and followed Zhang Peng, charging toward the Nanjiang catacombs closest to them. The Nanjiang catacombs, that had originally been pacified, were also in a bloody battle today. Today, they fought for the human race. P.S. Asking for some monthly votes seems to have beaten the previous ones, a pleasant surprise. 9 Heavens Divine Emperor. Chapter 1155. Kill. The entire outskirts of the catacombs were engaged in a massacre. Fresh blood dyed the catacombs red. Hysterical, fighting to the death without retreating. Behind him was his country, his race. A human king was fighting. Generations of experts of the human race were fighting. The experts were fighting, bathing in blood for the survival of the human race. What right did the others have to not fight? Even if they were weak, they would fight to the bitter end to tell the 3 realms that the human race had never been afraid. Forbidden Sea. Kill. Old Man Li's Skybreaker. Who could stop him? He was going back to help the human race. This road is blocked. A giant octopus blocked his way. Desperate Sea. The path of the human race will be forged through slaughter. Old Man Li roared fiercely. Humans don't rely on others to make way. Our path is carved out by ourselves. Since the beginning of neo-martial arts, they had always been fighting and had never stopped. Why would they need others to make way for them? You think you're qualified to stop me? Broken longevity. The heaven-punishing sword erupted with a blinding light that illuminated the world. Sword light crisscrossed the world. Behind the octopus, countless Forbidden Sea demons screamed miserably as they were instantly cut into pieces by the sword light. One sword to sever longevity. Today, he was going to slay demons and enter the Tao. Even if he couldn't reach the absolute peak, he was going to slay a true deity. He was the longevity swordsman, the invincible longevity swordsman. Break, 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 with 3 consecutive roars. 3 beams of sword light pierced through the void, forming a large array that instantly attacked the octopus. The tentacles of the octopus soared into the air. Just as it struck out, it suffered a critical strike. Several of its long tentacles were instantly cut off. What a domineering sword technique. Heaven Exterminating Sword, an ancient divine artifact. This seat kindly accepts. The octopus was not shocked. Instead, it was delighted. If it was in the past, how could a true god realm like it have the qualifications to wield a divine artifact? But now, this human actually possessed a divine artifact. If he killed him, entered the Forbidden Sea, and refined the divine artifact, he could make up for all his losses this time. You think you're worthy? Old Man Li let out a cold snort. His vitality surged, and he let out another furious roar. At this moment, his entire being had merged into the longsword, and his roar shook the heavens. Life sword. The life sword, which he had only used once in the king's battlefield, appeared once more. Shadows appeared one after another. Heroic spirits that had died in battle in the catacombs reappeared. Although the common people are bitter, they will not regret it even if they die. In the past 100 years of the human race, which powerhouse had ever said that it was a bitter new martial artist? The path of the common people. The moment the sword appeared, heaven and earth shook. The sky was torn apart. The octopus, which was still thinking about snatching the heaven-punishing sword, suddenly revealed a look of horror in its huge eyes. Third heaven break. Breaking 3 was nothing. A burst of 600,000 calories would do it. Even so, there were strong and weak ones at break 3. The strong ones could explode with more than 1 million cal, while the weak ones could explode with more than 600,000 cal. Even if they were at the peak of level 4 or 5, with vitality exceeding 1 million, they might not be able to inflict 1 million cal of damage. Not even Li Changsheng. However, at this moment, Li Changsheng had fused his 9 refinements golden body with the divine armament, the Sky Destroyer sword, and slashed out with this sword. It vaguely felt an incomparably great threat. At this moment, its source great Tao trembled. This person wanted to sever the Tao. You're not qualified. The octopus also roared. His great path was sturdy, and his spiritual energy was stronger than Li Changsheng's. How could this guy be qualified to break his great path? He was not qualified. Old man Li was one with his sword. At this moment, his voice shook the heavens. What qualifications do I need to slay a beast? The forbidden sea demon tribe actually dared to stop him from returning to aid the humans. They deserved to die. At this moment, the long sword was unbelievably fast. It broke through the limits of space. Countless shadows surrounded the long sword like stars surrounding the moon. As the long sword slashed through the air, uft, a soft sound was heard. Roar. A shrill roar was heard. A sword appeared on the octopus's head. Compared to its huge body, it looked like a toothpick stuck in its head. However, at this moment, the octopus was howling in pain. The moment the Sky Destroyer stabbed in, its great path suffered a violent impact. The source world was shaking. Go to hell. The other tentacles of the octopus all whipped toward its head. Bang, bang, bang. A series of collisions were heard. With a plop, Old Man Li and the Sky Destroyer sword separated. He was bathed in blood, his face pale. Holding the long sword, he half knelt on the octopus's head. At this moment, the tentacles around him were still surrounding him. Old Man Li let out a long laugh. He stood up again and slashed with his sword. He laughed and said, "Your great path is shaking. Do you think you're qualified to fight me to the death?" As soon as he finished speaking, Old Man Li's golden body exploded with a dazzling light. 9-forged golden body. The world only knew that Fong Ping had a 9-forged golden body. How many people remembered that Li Changsheng, had also achieved rank 9 with a 9-forged golden body? At this moment, a ray of golden light was as fast as lightning. Holding a divine weapon, it spun and leaped in midair. Countless shadows appeared in the void. Those were the afterimages left behind by the extreme speed. Wherever the afterimages passed by, they were fighting with the octopus tentacles. Blood dyed the surface of the sea gold. Some belonged to Old Man Li, some belonged to the octopus. As it fought, the octopus started to feel scared. The other party might not be its match. However, it suddenly felt that it was worth it to fight with this person until the end. It was only entrusted by the Kuan King to keep this person occupied. If this went on, it felt that even if it killed the other party, it would be seriously injured. In the Forbidden Sea, an injured true god monster beast, might very well become someone else's meal. Human. Scram. Countless tentacles of the octopus were broken. At this moment, it maintained the last of its dignity and roared, "Scram! I don't want to argue with you today." Old Man Lee's face was pale. His 9-forged golden body was also badly damaged. After all, he was not a paragon. He had not even reached the end of rank 9, fighting with a paragon demon until the other party was afraid of being seriously injured and had to give way. It was already extremely shocking. After Fong Ping, this was the second rank 9 powerhouse who defied the heavens and killed gods. However, at this moment, Old Man Lee did not leave. The first spurt of energy will dry up, and the third will weaken. If I don't prove my Tao to the Paragon today, it's useless even if I go back. You are my whetstone. Old Man Lee roared. This fellow had already consumed too much of his strength and foundation. If he did not prove his Tao when he went back, he would only be a useless rank 9. What was the use? Only at this moment, unleashing his full strength and killing this paragon demon beast, could he achieve the general trend and take advantage of it to prove his Tao to the desperation realm. King Wu killed a saint to advance to Heavenly King. Fong Ping wanted to borrow the saint's hand to help him prove his Tao to the paragon. War King, Netherworld King, Chen Yaozu, Zhang Weiyu, each and every one of these experts had used their strength to prove their Tao, killing their enemies to prove their Tao, killing a strong enemy. This was the general trend. Their essence spirit would reach the peak in an instant. Their mentality would also undergo a huge transformation. This was the struggle between life and death, fighting for a future. Humans were all fighting. Today, Li Changsheng, also wanted to fight. If he succeeded, he would return as a paragon swordsman and kill even more strong enemies. Be *starred. You're courting death. The octopus was furious. Its huge figure suddenly rolled. The entire sea region was stirring up waves. Old Man Lee stepped on its body. At this moment, a huge wave came crashing. The seawater was like sulfuric acid, wrapping him up instantly. Even his 9-forged golden body was sizzling. Corrosion. However, Old Man Lee allowed the seawater to corrode him. His feet were rooted, laughing loudly, stabbing down with his sword. Uffed. Golden blood gushed out. In the next moment, a tentacle pierced through Old Man Lee's chest. Li Changsheng was incomparably savage. Holding the sword with both hands, he stabbed down again. However, his teeth revealed a cold glint, biting down on the tentacle that pierced through his chest. His teeth were like sharp swords. Crack! A sound of metal colliding was heard. Li Changsheng's mouth was full of blood, but he smiled ferociously. He bit off a large piece of the golden flesh on the tentacle and swallowed it directly, laughing loudly. Delicious! Great supplement! Crunch, crunch! The ear-piercing sound of chewing metal was heard. The flesh of a venerable demon was countless times tougher than metal without being processed. Li Changsheng's teeth were shining with golden light as he chewed, but he did not care. Below him, the octopus rolled and boiled again, diving straight into the forbidden sea. Li Changsheng's sword stabbed into its body. It could not survive, no matter what. It was in a difficult situation. Enter the forbidden sea and corrode him to death. Not only that, but at this moment, its mentality incarnation flashed directly above the flesh. A gloomy middle-aged man was furious, charging towards him swiftly. Mentality incarnation? Haha, you're courting death. At this moment, Old Man Lee's vitality exploded like a bloody sun. He did not cultivate mentality. So what? I have hot blood. That's enough. His vitality was burning. A burst of sparks that burned the void rose. Old Man Lee continued laughing maniacally, holding the sword. The sparks merged with the long sword. Almost in an instant, Old Man Lee's sword pierced through the air, piercing through the mentality incarnation. At this moment, more than 10 tentacles appeared. As he pierced through the mentality incarnation, they entangled him as well. An ear-piercing sound was heard. It was like being sliced by 1,000 knives. Old Man Lee's golden body was cut. Blood and flesh splattered, his bones broken, but he held on. Once again, he swung his sword in all directions, cutting off countless tentacles. A fight to the death. At this moment, his vitality was depleted, his golden body was damaged, and his combat strength was reduced by 80%. However, below him, the octopus was not having it easy either. More than half of its tentacles were cut off, and the mentality incarnation was destroyed. At this moment, the octopus was slightly out of control. It rushed to the bottom of the sea, howling mournfully. Most martial artists would lose control when their mentality was destroyed. The demons were even stronger. It only wanted to use the incarnation to chase Li Chongsheng away, who knew that this person would disregard everything. Under such circumstances, he allowed its tentacles to pierce through him and destroy its mentality incarnation. At this moment, the octopus was extremely irascible. Not only was the seawater corroding Li Chongsheng, but it was also corroding the out-of-control itself. At this moment, Li Chongsheng still did not care about all this. He saw it. He saw the opponent's demon core. He saw the heart core, and so did the brain core. He wanted to pierce through this demon's heart core and brain core. Once the heart core and brain core were destroyed, this demon would no longer be a threat. Although he himself was about to be corroded into a skeleton, he did not care. He was not going to die immediately. He had successfully achieved Tao. He did not need to care about anything else. I still have one more sword. Old Man Lee laughed loudly. Yes, he still had one more sword. The longevity swordsman was famous for his longevity sword. However, he still had the stronger life sword. After the life sword, there was still one more sword. That day at the king's battleground, Li Chongsheng, Tianmu, and Wu Quishan used this sword at the same time. A combat technique created by a rank 8 martial artist. Demonic martial sword. It was extremely similar to the human's blood saber technique. It was more domineering and more terrifying. However, the toll was also great. That time, if the 3 of them did not have Fang Ping's help, it would be difficult for them to recover. Today, at this point, why would he care about that? At this moment, the broken flesh on his body was instantly integrated into the Sky Destroyer. Not only that, Old Man Lee laughed loudly. I'll let you have a taste of something even more powerful. Bang! At this moment, only his head, neck, and right arm were left of his golden body. The other parts had all exploded. The exploded golden body was integrated into the Sky Destroyer once again. The Sky Destroyer exploded with a blinding light, sweeping away the surrounding seawater. In the face of a life-and-death crisis, the octopus seemed to have sobered up a little. At this moment, it roared furiously, "Get lost, bug! Get lost!" It was a little scared. Demonic martial sword. With a loud roar, the heavens and the earth changed color. The seawater retreated directly, revealing a vacuum. The void was blasted by the sword chi, creating a long crack. Old Man Lee was only left with his head and right arm. Holding the sword, he went straight for the brain nucleus. He wanted to smash this bastard's brain nucleus. At this moment, the remaining tentacles of the octopus went berserk one after another, charging toward him. Bang! The moment the tentacles touched the sword chi, they exploded immediately. However, some of the tentacles avoided the Sky Destroyer, and went straight for Old Man Li's head. However, Old Man Li still did not care. To fight for life and death, only attack, and no defense. Let's see who was faster, who was lucky. Splat! The tentacles pierced through his head. Old Man Li's eyes dimmed instantly. However, at this moment, his long sword also hit the crystal-like brain nucleus. Crack! The brain nucleus cracked. The cracking sound was endless. Time seemed to have stopped. The next moment, a loud bang was heard, followed by the sound of an explosion. The brain nucleus was completely shattered. The octopus fell into silence. The tentacles that pierced through Old Man Li gradually softened, sliding down from his head. Old Man Li's 7 orifices were bleeding. There was a big hole in the center of his forehead, but he was laughing softly. No one knew where the laughter came from. You lost! Old Man Li laughed suddenly. Then his head flew down, biting and devouring the octopus's flesh. His flesh was recovering. Gradually, his left arm grew, then his sternum, then his lower body. His aura was getting stronger and stronger. The giant octopus was bitten by him until its flesh and blood flew everywhere. As for the octopus whose mentality was destroyed, although it was not dead yet, it had completely fallen into stillness. After a while, Old Man Li's golden body recovered. His aura was getting stronger and stronger. Today, I'll slay a god and prove my Tao. A long howl resounded in all directions. Old Man Li struck with his sword, smashing the giant heart nucleus into pieces directly. The heart nucleus and brain nucleus were smashed at the same time. To a demon, this was fatal. Rumble! Today, the first fallen paragon had appeared. It was not on Fang Ping's side, nor was it on Wu Quishan's side. On the Forbidden Sea, the longevity swordsman killed a venerable demon as a rank 9. The great Tao collapsed. The sky was torn apart. At the same time, in the sky, a brand new great Tao appeared again. Li Changsheng's Tao. The great Tao stretched, reaching 999 meters in an instant. 1,000 meters was right in front of him. At this moment, a voice was heard. The path of extreme Tao is not a good path. Once you enter extreme Tao, you will never regret it for the rest of your life. The 4 emperors have no choice but to reincarnate. Before the voice faded, Old Man Li did not even look over there. He soared into the sky and took a step. Good path, bad path? The path that could kill the enemy was a good path. Extreme Tao. If he really had the strength of an extreme Tao heavenly emperor, would he still care about those? What a joke. Rumble. With this step, 1,000 meters of great Tao was formed. Between heaven and earth, a blood sun appeared. That was caused by a powerful vitality. At this moment, mentality swept over from all directions. Someone said in shock, Vitality Tao. No, Physique Tao. It doesn't look like it. It should be Extreme Tao too. This person has proven his Tao with Extreme Tao. Who is he? Human Li Changsheng. Longevity swordsman Li Changsheng, mentor of the human king. At this moment, Old Man Li's vitality was transforming. His physique was transforming. His eyes were like a furnace shining with divine light. He looked in all directions and shouted coldly, Humans may be weak, but we will never regret 100 battles. I, Li Changsheng, am not talented, but I am willing to use this life to pave the way for humans. Being enemies with humans, I will cut off your path to longevity. A cold shout echoed in all directions. In the next moment, Li Changsheng, who was still transforming, did not even look back. He broke through the air and charged toward the 6 southern regions. Fight them until the sky and earth were turned upside down. Kill them until the universe was clear. A blood-red mark ran through 1,000 miles of road. Li Changsheng, who was still transforming, did not care whether his realm was stable or not. The enemy's blood was the foundation of forging Tao. At this moment, in the dark, the person who spoke earlier sighed softly. The others did not notice his presence. Beside him, Qin Fengqing's eyes flickered. Hong Yu said lightly, "Humans are in danger. Aren't you going to fight?" Qin Fengqing paused. After a while, he said, "He will win. I'm too weak." "Can Fang Ping win?" Hong Yu smiled faintly. 5 saints are killing him from 10,000 miles away. The God creation envoy's avatar is strong, but it won't last long. Once its power is exhausted, the avatar will dissipate, and he will die for sure. "Are you willing to attack, Senior?" "I can't attack. If I attack, I will be provoking a strong enemy. These people will not kill Fang Ping for no reason. Even Senior is not willing to provoke them. I am no match for them. Not fighting anymore." "Fight," Qin Fengqing said in a low voice, "but now is not the time. I have yet to achieve Tao. Killing a few rank 9s is useless." "Up to you." Hong Yu laughed, saying lightly, "I have found the location of the fake sky grave. I want to go in and take a look. Do you want to go?" Qin Fengqing pondered for a moment, shaking his head. "I'm not going. Thank you for your guidance these days, Senior." "Where are you going?" "Then, to the place where I should go." Qin Fengqing bowed slightly, turning his head to look at the catacombs. His gaze was complicated. Very quickly, he collected his emotions and flew away. Today, he was not qualified to participate in a war like this. The catacombs, the war in the catacombs would be won by humans. Ha ha ha. At this moment, on the other side of the Forbidden Sea, Fang Ping laughed out loud. "The 3 realms are vast, but the humans rule. The longevity swordsman has achieved the pinnacle of Tao, slaying gods and proving Tao. The humans are invincible. Who can defeat them?" At this moment, Fang Ping's aura was soaring. With a slash of his saber, he shattered the void and charged toward Tiangui. "So, what if you're a saint? I have the humans as my foundation. I don't lack the courage to fight." "Trash. How can you be called a saint?" Tiangui's expression was cold. His body was like a dragon twisting the void. In the blink of an eye, he appeared behind Fang Ping and struck with his palm. Fang Ping defended with his saber on his back. While defending, he kicked sideways. He was still attacking. Creak! The god-slaying saber was hit until sparks flew in all directions. Fang Ping kicked out, but it was as if he had kicked a mountain. Tiangui's other hand grabbed his leg directly. With a cold snort, he crushed Fang Ping's left leg. He had the ability to kill Fang Ping in seconds. Even if Fang Ping was slightly stronger than before, even possessing emperor-level combat strength. However, a saint was in existence that worshipped heavenly kings. Fang Ping only possessed some emperor-level combat strength. How could he be Tiangui's opponent? Fang Ping did not get entangled. His left leg was instantly severed by himself, and he escaped from Tiangui's killing range, escaping again. "Small fry," Tiangui said coldly. "Where can you run to? What can one more true god change?" "Trash. A saint has yet to succeed in killing me." Ha ha ha. Fang Ping laughed out loud. He did not know why he was laughing. He laughed so hard that tears were forming. "Do you know you'll become the laughingstock of the 3 realms if you die? Because you'll never know how useless you are." Tiangui snorted coldly. He did not understand what was going on. Yes, he did not manage to kill Fang Ping quickly. However, it was not that easy for a saint to kill an emperor. Was this considered a laughingstock? He had just recovered. Fang Ping was cunning and was a human king with emperor-level combat strength. It was not a big deal that he could not kill him easily, right? If he really killed Fang Ping in 2 or 3 moves, it would make human kings seem worthless. Was this considered a laughingstock? Tian Gui did not understand, but Fang Ping laughed loudly, becoming more and more ostentatious and savage. Trash. Tian Gui was trash. Saint. Rank 9. A world of difference. You actually haven't killed me yet. You're trash. Even if you die, you'll still be trash. You'll all be a laughingstock. At this moment, Fang Ping restrained his aura, but the source world was shaking. Countless people were breaking through realms. Especially the moment Old Manly broke through, Fang Ping's Tao expanded rapidly. In the blink of an eye, it reached a limit, 999 meters, infinitely close to 1,000 meters. At this moment, Fang Ping's voice was like a great bell, spreading everywhere, echoing continuously. Is there anyone else who can prove their Tao? Is there anyone else who can lend me a helping hand? After this war, the humans will be invincible in the 3 realms. If we meet gods, we'll kill them. If we meet Buddhas, we'll kill Buddhas. His voice reverberated, spreading everywhere. Nearby, in the 6 southern regions and 8 southern regions, the humans who were still fighting were all roaring. There was someone else who could help a human king. 6 southern regions. Tianmu roared, I'm coming. He who had absorbed King Pine's Tao had improved rapidly, but he had not proved his Tao. It was not that he could not, but he wanted to familiarize himself more to become a true paragon, not a fake paragon. However, at this moment, who cared? Even if I become King Pine, I'm still the King Pine of the humans. Tianmu roared, stepping into the air. In the air, a Tao appeared, and on the Tao, there seemed to be a figure. It was King Pine, the King Pine who was hooked to death by the Ash Cat. King Pine seemed to be sneering, as if he was watching a show, but Tianmu laughed and said, So what if you continue to pester me? Using your Tao to kill the people of your catacombs, it's even better. Break. An angry roar resounded in all directions. With a rumble, energy gathered within a radius of 100 miles. Tianmu had not completely achieved his Tao, but at this moment, a big saber swept in all directions. In front of him, many rank 9s who were fighting in the catacombs were sliced into pieces by this saber. I'll go help Wu Quishan. MCMAU, kill. Charge into the Forbidden Zone. Flatten Mount Yuhai, kill. Battle cries pierced the sky. Charge into the Forbidden Zone. Today, revenge for 100 years of blood feud. Ha ha ha. At the same time, between heaven and earth, only Fang Ping's laughter seemed to be left. Laughter that chilled people's hearts. Laughter that made people tremble. Demonic. The laughter continued to spread, spreading further and further. At this moment, heaven and earth seemed to have darkened, trembling. Today, I, Fang Ping, have achieved Tao's paragon. A voice that caused one's heart to tremble rang out. At this moment, the entire world fell silent. What was he saying? You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.